Man, boys. I don't dang. Mm-hmm. Y'all got me drinking water now. What? This don't make no damn sense to me. God damn, bro. Damn. I don't know if this is day two. I guess technically this is day two. What up with y'all though? Somebody said I was so drunk last night, gang. I ain't even gonna cap with you. I gotta like come clean. I recovered though. I recovered. All I needed was some. Anytime I get lit, I just need a good nap and I'm actually drinking water, but whatever. I'm not sleepwalking. I told you I don't care how drunk I get. I always get to put like 5 or 6 or 7. Okay. All right. I'm gonna vibe out with y'all for a little bit. Somebody said this is AI. Nah, this is me. Nah. If you're watching the previous stream, just cut the previous stream. It didn't end too well. Okay. Y'all gonna be honest. I don't know how I got that lit. Yo, for a nigga who drink every day, you know what it is? I think it's this bottle right here. This bottle seems so small. Nigga, I just drank through the whole thing. I drank this whole bottle. So I'm like, I'll be fine. Because usually I get the bigger bottle. I actually got the bigger bottle upstairs. Nigga, for some reason, that shit had me. Anyway, I don't even think I properly even got through any topics. Not that we're going to do it now. I really just got on to this kind of vibe. I was apparently mute for like 20 minutes, right? Bad work. So what is it? You had an out of body experience. Quando Rondo shit. I feel it. Okay. Yeah. All I know is we got on stream. I played 2 videos. I didn't like that already. I played 2 videos, and I'm like, fuck. I wasn't feeling it at that point. After them videos, I think we call top 5 or something around then. And then after that, it was out of body experience because I could, like, I'm kind of sitting next to myself and I'm like watching. I'm like, are you streaming and doing a good job? And I was like, no, I'm not making sense. I am not making sense anymore. And then luckily you guys in the chat. Once I felt like that and I seen the chat, they were like, just get on stream, bro. I'm like, I'm out of here. I don't even know how long I streamed for. Okay. Did I cover anything? Probably not. We did watch a Thug interview. I think we meant to go to the Shannon Sharpe shit. We went left, up, down, everywhere. I don't know if we talked about the Ye thing. I think we probably did a little bit. Not fully, right? The Shadeur Sanders stuff isn't that I really don't care about it that much. You know, with all due respect, my boy's draft stock dropped a bit, and now everybody says it's because it's racism. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. Okay. We could start by talking about that. Everybody's making up these conspiracy theories about Shadeur wasn't drafted, and I think they thought he was going to go first round. He wasn't drafted in the second or the third, but I believe it was like the fourth round he was drafted, or day 3, or whatever the case is. And a lot of people feel like it was to send Deion Sanders a message or whatever. I hear everybody giving commentary about where this kid should go, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about his actual skill, right? Now, I don't really watch, I know the whole college football season been kind of lit. I don't really watch it that much. But then when I start watching and kind of seeing what was leading up to the draft, I see why the hell the nigga didn't get drafted in the first couple of rounds. I could see why people were like, yo, bro, my nigga. I'd seen a Gillian Wallow clip. The nigga was like, yo, we finna pull a Eli Manning, which I think is like force a trade or some shit like that. Dion. How do you spell his name? Dion. Eli Manning. So I kind of got it. It was on Gillian Wallow that he said that. Where the hell? Oh, here we go.
Predict Shadeur and Travis going in the draft.
Top 4.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Anywhere from 1 through 4. One of them is going to be 1.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of them is going to be
Speak it
1.
into existence.
And the latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shallow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be an Eli.
Where do you predict Shadeur?
Yo, I'm done. If y'all wonder how I'm muted, let me give you the science behind me being muted. I gotta give you the science, and I'm not lit no more. Well, I'm coming off being lit. So this is a studio. This is like a music studio. Usually when I'm streaming, the way I could kind of tell without visually looking, there's a visual button for the mute thing, right? It's not even mute. It's just, is your mic on? However, the mic comes through the speakers, so I hear feedback. So when I'm like, yo, I could hear my voice back. So my brain usually says, oh, you're not muted. Because if you're hearing feedback, that means the mic is hot, that you're sending signal because you could hear yourself back. Obviously, that's not the truth because the button's not clicked. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that I was getting to the Shannon Sharpe topic, and I didn't do it last night. And I wanted to kind of like do that at the very least. So the whole thing with Shannon Sharpe is that, you know, unfortunately for him, when there's blood on the streets, the vultures will start to linger. And we all know what's happening. A girlfriend or a girl he was fucking with for years, she basically is trying to, some people think, extort him. $50 million, apparently had offered 10. And he's been going through that. Stepped aside from ESPN. It's a lawsuit. And, you know, I gave my opinion before, and I really still stick to my opinion. You see these lawsuits, like, the worst thing about it for someone of fame and notoriety is the initial sting. Like that, oh shit, everybody's reading this and they're assuming it's true. Why do I say that? Bro, the reality of things is that lawsuits takes years. Like, I've told you about lawsuits that's going into the 4th year. A lot of times there's no resolution. Sometimes the resolution ends up being something through arbitration. Like, again, it's not about resolving the lawsuit. It's about the damage you take once every media outlet reports this lawsuit. And now, in the court of public opinion, they made up their mind. They won't even wait for a civil court. And in most cases, there usually is no criminal court. So, my strategy, or not strategy, but my advice to anyone, especially a man of color, if you get hit with a lawsuit, you got to plan for the next 2 to 3 months. Because that's really the biggest thing. You know, like you hear these astronomical numbers, $50 million. And just to be honest, like, you know, anyone with a shrewd team, anyone with good lawyers, that $50 million is not like just there for this woman to get. Which, by the way, Vlad made a good point. I seen on Twitter where he was like, he doesn't understand why this woman wouldn't take. He said why she wouldn't take the $10 million. Because I don't think people understand lawsuits, and I think people think that money just like immediately falls in your lap. What Vlad said was this. To me, the strangest thing about the Shannon Sharpe rape case is her turning down $10 million. I agree too. Tony Busby would have gotten 30% of that. She would have gotten $7 million tax-free. If you put that in a 5% interest account, you'd be making $350K for the rest of your life without even touching the $7 million. Instead, she's choosing to take it to court. It's going to take like 1 to 3 years. Actually, some places it takes longer than that. She has a good chance of losing in court because Shannon's going to outspend her in legal costs. If she wins, the jury might award her less than $10 million. Yes, I know she's going for 50, but again, it's very likely that, let's say she wins and they give her $2.5 million. Shannon's going to protest it. He's going to try to get an appeal. He's going to try to get, you know, when there's a jury or whatever, for them to reconsider how much. And even if he loses, it'll take another 1 or 2 years, get back to court. Then he might win the appeal. And then it's going to be a whole thing on collecting. Like we've seen rappers or whoever go into extreme methods to not have the money collected. You get what I'm saying? It says there's a potential delay of 5 years. That's what I kind of look at it. It's 5 years. You sue somebody, it's going to be like 5 years before you get to any type of resolution. And then it comes to Let's say you win. Are they going to pay? So that's why I do wholeheartedly believe the weirdest part about this entire situation is that she turned down $10 million. Now, with all that being said, and this is what I was saying about these lawsuits, they take a while, but they initially give the sting of hurting your financial earning potential, right? Sponsors stepping aside, ESPN saying, bro, you got to go over there. It definitely does hurt you. But the actual lawsuit is going to take like half a decade to even get to a resolution. So I always tell people, I'm like, yo, you got to wait like 3 months. You got to get through this phase of, the media are like vultures. They're going to look for a big story and milk the shit out of it. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk to any woman that's had a sexual experience with Shannon. They're going to talk to your maids if you have one. If you have a female driver, they're going to go talk to your past jobs about anybody who works with you. And that's going to last for a little while. You hope you're not on some Diddy shit, right? Because with that, it was like the gift that kept giving. Every single day, new accusers. Every single day, new allegations. But Shannon Sharpe, and this next week is going to be important for him, because if there's any other chick that's laying in the woodworks, maybe, again, I don't know if they'll be telling the truth. Maybe they could be hurt, right? Like, man, I'm going to get my shit off. They're probably going to come out in the next few weeks. Now, what has happened is that there's a ex-girlfriend of his that's named Michelle. She's now coming back out again. Apparently, she had made similar allegations against him previously, but, it's never more hot than now. She's coming back out, and her name is, by the way, Michelle Evans. She's coming back out to tell her story. So you could tell, this is a definition of aging like milk. Like, this chick is old as dirt. She looks like a fossil. This is like a chick that would probably be on like a 90s show like Baywatch, except I don't think she'd be on the beach. You feel what I'm saying? However, and we all know at this point, Shannon Sharpe ain't fucking with no chick that's, by the way, I think this was a picture when she was young, right? Anyway. Says the former NFL superstar and sports media personality Shannon Sharpe is actually at the center of a growing firestorm about a second woman and has come forward with an explosive allegations of sexual assault. Just days after the news broke by OnlyFans model who claims Sharpe assaulted her multiple times, the New York Post and other outlets have confirmed that there's a separate lawsuit that was quietly filed in 2023 by another former girlfriend, Michelle Evans. She said she was in a decade-long relationship with Sharpe, accused him of horrifying assault that allegedly took place in 2010. And, okay. This is the interesting thing. So she sued him again in 2023, but the assault took place in 2010. According to the court documents, Michelle, she said Sharpe became violent after an argument about his infidelity and proceeded to assault her in a terrifying and degrading manner sexually. The shocking details combined with the allegations of threats, intimidation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, it says, to put a few things in context, in 2010, I believe Shannon Sharpe had a job with like CBS. After, it didn't make that much of a splash, but after that happened, he was let go, and I think that was the reason. CBS Shannon Sharpe. Let's see. Yeah, I think the CBS thing. Yeah, I'm almost. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Fuck. CBS. Here we go. Shannon Sharpe temporarily stepped away from his role at CBS in 2010 after a woman accused him of sexual assault. Now, he later returned to that job. So apparently that was this Michelle Evans woman, right? Now, all I'm trying to tell y'all is like, bro, the vultures are starting to circle for Shannon Sharpe. And people have seen the strategy that's worked effectively with Diddy, which means when you see one accuser get the big splash, you basically, and also here's the thing, that's the thing about settling, right? We hear that, half of the reason, if you ask me, I'm not saying Diddy's a good person or not, half the reason he had damn near almost 100 people trying to sue him is because they heard that the nigga was paying. Like, a lot of these things aren't in the interest of the pursuit of justice. It's in the interest of pursuit of money. So they looked at Diddy when they heard Diddy gave $30 million to Cassie, and they're like, we don't need $30 million. Just give us $3 million. We're good. So we'll just put in our claim or allegations, give us some money, and we'll just go away. Or they probably start sending demand letters immediately. It's the same thing kind of happening with the Shannon Sharpe shit, except it's not that bad yet. Once his lawyer admitted that they had offered $10 million, every chick from his past, including this woman, was probably like, he ain't never offered me shit. I need to go get my money now. So this woman who's now and her lawyers trying to make this public, they're saying, according to evidence, the incident happened in 2010. So that's the thing that he has stepped aside from CBS 4. After a confrontation about his unfaithfulness, she says the argument quickly escalated into something more darker and traumatic. In her lawsuit, she describes how Shannon forced her to her knees and committed non-consensual oral sex. The nightmare didn't even end there. She says Shannon Sharpe then maneuvered her onto the bed and proceeded to have non-consensual vaginal sex while delivering a chilling message. He told me he was going to make it so no other man would want me. By the way, we've seen that same kind of titling or wordage when this new woman was making her allegations about Shannon too. These allegations depict an alarming pattern of power, control, and humiliation. She said after the incident, she wanted to go public with what happened to her, but when she made it clear to Shannon that she intended to speak out, he allegedly launched a terrifying campaign to silence her. He threatened to destroy my life. He told me he would use everyone to ruin me. The fear wasn't just emotional. According to Evans, someone showed up to her home and made a direct threat to her safety. I had a basement apartment with a door that led straight to the sidewalk. One night, someone came right up to my door and said, shut up, fucking bitch. She revealed in a new interview with the U.S. Sun. I dropped my restraining order right then because I had a child in the home. There was no way I could risk it. Evans had filed a restraining order against Sharpe, but she withdrew it shortly after what she described as an intense fear of her life and fear of safety for her family. So in 2023, she filed a lawsuit claiming defamation, libel, and slander. I'm wondering why she didn't claim sexual assault. According to the lawsuit, Sharpe used his influence and media platforms to discredit her and paint her as mentally unstable. She says these defamatory statements further damaged her reputation and deepened the trauma she experienced. She filed the lawsuit under New York City's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act, a legal statute. Okay, we get that. Shannon Sharpe denied all the allegations against him. His legal team has issued, all right. Public outcry, okay. Yeah, they're trying to make Shannon the new Diddy. You know what I mean? They're trying to make Shannon Sharpe the new Diddy. Now, I'm wondering what he said about her in the past. And just for just a little bit of clarity in how I see this, it would be most likely, I think it's unlikely that he's going to go back to ESPN at all. It's going to be so many unresolved issues. And with, this is why this idea of a temporary leave sounds asinine to me. Didn't I just tell y'all that civil cases take 5 years to make or to complete? If a civil case, you're going to require 3 to 5 years for some conclusion, what could help Shannon Sharpe right now other than the woman backtracking and taking back her word? And multiple women at this point, right? So this Michelle Evans woman would be like, oh, nah, I actually lied. You think she's going to do that? I don't think so. Then the other woman, which is Gabrielle Zuniga, if she came out and be like, oh, no, I'm lying, yeah, Shannon would be, I think, immediately reinstated. However, I don't think that's what's going to happen, right? Now, the Vlad words are going to continue to come back around because I'm wondering what Tony Busby is advising her and I'm wondering what her goal is when you guys have played your hand so heavy. I think it's insanely hurts his earning potential, but probably hurts the amount you guys could get as well, right? You can't get $50 million from a nigga who don't have it. Not saying, and I do love pocket watching, but not saying he has or doesn't have $50 million. But if he doesn't have like a contract to show that he's making X, Y, and Z amount of money, kind of hurts your case about getting this $50 million as was talked about, you know? So let me see. Has Shannon even talked about this? Shannon Sharpe, Michelle Evans. Shannon do like them white girls, don't he? Shannon do love them white girls. Huh. Let me hear what Stephen A. Had to say about. And by the way, from all I see, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna like try to amend the complaint. I believe that she's going to add some sexual assault, like this Michelle Evans woman, because right now it only says defamation, slander, and libel, right? Which basically like there's a backdrop of sexual assault, but we don't hear. Hold on. This time the charges were not about the original sexuals. Not just, okay. So it's probably addition. Okay. It's added. Never mind. So she had sued him back then. She dropped it. And then in 2010, then she sued him in 2023. Okay. All right. Yeah, they got uncooked. I ain't gonna lie. If you ask me, man, Shannon just got to double down on his own platform. I think he'll be fine. Everyone keeps talking about how he's playing it now. There is no proper way to play it. Like, honestly, there's no proper way to play it. I've been watching, like, all these other pundits talk about he's handling this wrong. There's no right way to handle a fucked up situation. The dude is in the middle of a negotiation. He has this big job. If he just stays quiet, he's going to get crucified for the next 5 years. He's trying to like be a little bit open, but also, it's not even a misstep because all the missteps happened before the lawsuit was filed. Shorty literally has gathered all this evidence on him that she's going to slow leak, and that's probably the thing that you just can't really go toe-to-toe with. But in reality, there's no right way to handle this shit. I hate when people say that. Like, they'll say it about a situation, not knowing that when these things happen, people want to cancel you. People want you to lose your job. People want you to lose your livelihood. Shit, some people want you to go to jail. There's no right way to handle this thing. If you be quiet, a lot of people think that's an admission of guilt. If you say, also they'll use you talk about everybody else's shit. Why you not talking out? If you then speak, and then you're like, hey, I'm about to be transparent, and shit, I'll even give y'all info that y'all didn't know, that y'all could make up your minds in a correct way. They feel like you're doing too much. I don't think there's a right way to handle it, if you ask me. Stephen A. Smith has been an interesting person in all this because he's been, giving commentary about the situation, but also it's interesting because he kind of is like a spokesperson for ESPN. When he's speaking about how ESPN views things, he's always talking about these bosses, so we don't hear them talking. It feels like he's a spokesperson for them. Here we go.
Let's get to the latest news, and it's involving Mr. Shannon Sharpe, who announced yesterday that he would be stepping away from ESPN.
Why is it so low?
First Take, my daytime job, at least until the NFL preseason, sometime later on this summer.
Wait, why is this shit so low?
You may recall.
Am I tripping? That's what my
A lawsuit was filed against Shannon on Sunday by a woman using the name Jane Doe, or using a Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleged that Shannon Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault.
Wait, why the fuck? No, I'm not muting, but why is this so low? By the way, if you're trickling on in here, this is pretty much like damn near a little hangover stream. I was giving y'all the story last night. I'm like, I don't know how. Oh, my volume's low. I don't know how I got that drunk last night. I promise you. Okay.
Battery and sexual battery. Shannon.
I do know how I got that drunk. I clearly drunk, but like usually the amount I drink and like I could spitball it. I know what my tolerance is at, and for whatever reason, that shit just hit me. Bang. Anyway.
And his attorneys responded with and Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn.
Now, right before I play this, I think Stephen A. Smith should give Shannon some grace. This is my personal belief, right? And the grace should be, this is my man. Let's wait and see on the outcome. But nothing that is super like, you gotta leave that for the other pundits. Like, you know, the people who could be like, yo, yeah, I don't think Shannon did it, but Shannon was stupid for fucking with these young girls, or shit, why his lawyer doing, like, save your critique, because Shannon's supposed to be your man's. Save that. Let other people do it. But at least just seem supportive and just kind of like stay out of the mess, because people kind of look at you and him like y'all, again, they're probably not friends, but that's your man's. It's supposed to be, quote unquote, your man's. So when I heard Stephen A. previously kind of like really criticizing Shannon Sharpe's lawyer and shit like that, I'm like, it's kind of odd. I'm like, damn, even if you feel that way, why don't you try to advise him privately? But that always felt like a way to distance yourself. Like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck he doing now. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Jay-Z has now countersued Busby. Needless to say, the headlines this week took on a life of their own, and as a result, Shannon announced he was stepping away from ESPN. Here's a portion of Shannon's statement that he posted on social media. Quote, "I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely..."
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't believe that. The reason why I think it's not going to happen is it's going to be more allegations, and they're going to be unresolved. I don't believe them. I think these hosts is lying, but they're going to be unresolved. So if you're going to force him to step away now, what do you think? If you bring him back, the elephant in the room is going to be the allegations, which he's not going to have any sound answer for then. So the moment they say step aside, it pretty much means step down. Now, granted, if he had worked through it, and this is why, you know, on his personal platforms, he should work through it. And I think he did Nightcap like last night. He got to work through it. In 2 to 3 months, it's going to be lame for even the people who watch him to keep bringing it up. They're going to understand it's a case. They're going to understand that at some point it'll get to court, and whatever little juicy shit they want, they'll understand that it'll come out later, or they'll find out later. But he's going to do his job, which is comment on sports. And that's the only way I think ESPN could have kept him. Because there's going to be some type of elephant in the room. You either let him work through it, if you actually believe him, which they don't, or you start doing these interesting things to gaslight him. And I don't know if Shannon actually believes ESPN is telling him like, no, you'll come back. Yeah, you know what? This will blow over, or no, you could come back around NFL preseason. Bro, that's not happening. It's not happening.
Appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues.
Also, here's the thing about these statements about, oh, I'm stepping aside. Historically, these dudes only had one job, right? And it would be like this big media job or a big TV job. So when it said they're stepping aside, you never saw them anymore. You know that's not what's happening here with Shannon and ESPN. Like all that, oh, I need some time for me and my family. You're doing Nightcap every night. It's not like you're just stopped working. You just stopped working at ESPN. You're still doing your shit, right?
End quote. It's been a difficult week from a sports media perspective, certainly as it pertains to First Take. Shannon Sharpe became a friend.
Oh, nah. Don't do it, Stephen. Hey. Call him a friend, and then I can't wait for the comments afterwards. Yeah, that's my friend. But I don't know what type of freaky ass shit to be on.
When I recruited him to come on board on ESPN's First Take, he came on board and he did a sensational job. No matter the amount of success that we enjoyed for the 12 years prior to his arrival, he helped take it to another level last year. And we were doing our thing this year as well. And so when the news came down that he and ESPN had mutually agreed that he would need to come off the airwaves of ESPN, it was a blow to the show, a blow to me personally, because I'm gonna miss him. But it was not a surprise. When I was on the air just a few days ago, a lot of people were looking for me to say something. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever. Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe would assault or rape anybody. And I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know a damn thing beyond that, because I don't know. I've seen the text messages released by his lawyer, who, by the way, I don't think has been impressive in this at all, because some of the information that was let out to the public, I have no idea why a lawyer would advise such a thing, but that's a different subject for another day.
No, I hate that. I hate that 2020 hindsight bullshit that him and a lot of people who, you know, I feel like it's a way to just speak negatively of Shannon Sharpe. Since all y'all are geniuses and y'all criticizing a lawyer, what the fuck would y'all do? The nigga's literally telling you he's feeling like he's getting extorted. He's trying to jump ahead of certain things. However, when he jumps ahead of certain things, now the other side is saying, you know what, it already looks bad. We don't even got to do the act. Meaning what? They were supposedly going to leak a video of him fucking and choking the girl. Do you just not say nothing about that and just let it go? Keep in mind, when they were negotiating for the $10 million, that came to their attention. You have to address it. Again, I'm not I don't really know the nigga, but I'm not saying nigga guilty or innocent, but if in mediation, there was this idea that there's a sex tape that she has possession of that features you choking her and it doesn't look consensual, don't you think you got to jump ahead of that to let people know, like, bro, just to let you know, that might come out, but that's not the whole context. Also, we were into some race play BDSM shit. Do you get what I'm saying? You kind of got to jump in front of it a little bit. Now, here's how I feel everybody's being a hypocrite. Of course, it didn't perfectly work, and now everyone's calling it a bad idea. But what the fuck did you expect him to do? Like, I heard other people say, no, you should just be quiet. So if you be quiet, they're going to take you off ESPN. And also, well, he's already taken off, even though it wasn't quiet. But if you're quiet, you're going to watch your public reputation get torched. So do you respond or not? Now, maybe he's alluding to the text that was sent to say, no means no, Shannon. And I agree, that looks incredibly damning and horrible. However, I do think Shannon Sharpe is trying to curry some favor in the eyes of the public with trying to be transparent and trying to say, hey, listen, I'm going to show you the good, bad, and the ugly. By the way, all this would have came out in court anyway. So I think he's just fighting this battle for public, the court of public opinion.
And we're allowed to deduce from an opinion perspective what we believe and what we don't. So long as we concede that we have no way of knowing definitively what the truth is. What I can speak about is the fact that this 3-time Super Bowl champion and this Hall of Famer, who emphatically stated to me over the phone how innocent he is of these allegations that have been levied against him, insisting repeatedly that anything you read, anything you see, anything you hear was fully and totally consensual. In the same breath, what's inescapable is that without us knowing all the merits, he was working with Disney, where I've worked since 2003, excluding my departure from 2009 to 2011, when I was gone for those 2 years.
By the way, this is another thing too, man. And this is why you see everybody be on like Shannon Sharpe head top like it's over. I would like to make a bet. Chad. I guarantee, like, I know people like, it's over for Shannon Sharpe. I guarantee Shannon Sharpe makes more money from his podcast and Nightcap than he makes from ESPN. Like, this is some of the brainwashing that we do of the public, that standing next to these attractive logos means that's the big check you're going to get. And yes, I know what some of y'all say, well, he was offered $100 million. You ain't never in life going to get offered more than what you could make yourself. So I really go to say, Shannon going to be absolutely fine. That's not the biggest check he's getting. Yeah, it's a really attractive logo to stand next to because you're so brand friendly at a point. But my nigga, it's not like you're going to completely go broke. It's not like you still don't have whatever you got going on. And this is why I actually advise every creator, even if you're part of a bigger machine, make sure you got something going on for yourself. Because Shannon would have been officially all the way cooked if he didn't already have like an audience built in. He has an audience built in. He's going to be fine. But everybody's talking like it's a funeral. I guarantee ESPN was not paying that man. Like, he's not even paying him. They weren't even paying him close to what Stephen A was getting. Like, shit, when I worked at Complex, I didn't pick up checks there for 6 months. Nigga, was like peanuts. Like, in comparison to like what I was doing on YouTube. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm really just doing it just for the brand thing. I worked at Spotify. Now, Spotify checks are a little bit bigger. Can't even cap. They're definitely a little bit bigger. But it wasn't anything that I wasn't generating or couldn't generate. I still made more away from Spotify. If you get what I'm saying? So again, I think sometimes we look at these companies and we're thinking like, yeah, yo, ESPN. Man, fuck what ESPN got going on, man. Shannon Sharpe he has a brand that's like, it's been historic in his run for the last couple years. He gonna go through some shit. Yeah, there's gonna be a couple people that say we ain't fucking with you no more. They gonna step to the side. There's gonna be some audience members that are gonna double down and be like, nah, that's Uncle Shay Shay. We know this. Like, first of all, like, this is another thing too. Like, are we not surprised that Shannon Sharpe is into some race play shit? This is a nigga with a fucking, this is a heavy tongue Negro that went to school, I believe, in Georgia. Like, he's a Southern guy who always just looked super buff. And actually, he looks more buff now that he's not in the league than when he is. He messed with white chicks and probably is into race play where they're calling him a slave or whatever the fuck. I'm just going off of where he's from, his background, how he's looked. The college I kind of get it. Plus, I know a couple of niggas like this too. Well, not like Stephen A, but like Shannon. I know a couple of niggas like that. They always extra crispy, crunchy black. That's a fact. Them extra black niggas, when you see them start liking white girls like that, they into some race play shit, bro. Trust. Once they get past Travis Hunter color and darker, them niggas always, they into some kinky shit. But that's why you stay out of people's bedrooms, though. And that's why niggas shouldn't want to bring you in their bedrooms. Because what a man does with a woman consensually should be not for us to judge. So if Shannon want to get his ass licked by a white woman, that's on him. If Shannon want to go do some other freaky shit, if you want to get whipped or call or have her reverse call him massa, or I don't know what he might be into. And by the way, I do think some of the attraction that Shannon had for this woman and some of the, you know, they always say a really good woman molds to her man. For example, I'll use me as an example, right? Anytime I've gone with a woman, if we're gonna last, she knows the things I don't like and she don't like. I don't like weaves. That's always my thing. I don't care if you got a buzz cut, rock the buzz cut. I don't like weaves. I can't be around a chick that always got a shit ton of horsehair in her head all the time. Plus, I don't want to go to sleep with you and you wrap your fucking head up like a mummy every fucking night. I don't like it, okay? Anytime I've met a woman or dated a woman and that was maybe her style before, over time, if we took each other serious, she would kind of like change that up because she knew I didn't like it, right? I don't like smoking. I drink. I don't like smoking. I don't like women who smoke. If women like, I ain't gonna lie, she would like do vapes, but she would hide it. So I personally believe in, to put it back on Shannon Sharpe, pause. I think some of that BDSM race play shit. Remember when I'm reading, I'm like, damn, this bitch racist? Like, cause she kept saying black baby, put that black baby inside of me. I want me a black baby. Give me that baby gravy. Like, whoa, what's up with all this shit? I think that's coming from him, honestly. I think that's coming from him. I think that's his kink. I think she leaned into his kink. But also leaning into his kink because some of the what do you call it again? Some of the OnlyFans stuff she did was kind of in the same ilk. I think Shannon inspired all that, if you ask me. I think she got with this dude, realized that what turns him on is race play sex talk, submission and domination type of thing, which, by the way, also makes sense too. Shannon is a big, bulky Negro. You get what I'm saying? And I think she leaned into it. If anything, it kind of feels like maybe she wasn't all the way into it, but she was doing it for Shannon, right? She got comfortable with doing it. She knew how to, and you could tell, like, this is a younger girl who's with Shannon. If you read those messages, which we did, it feels like she knew how to extract money out of him. Like, she knew how to, like, kind of say the freaky shit to him that would kind of be like, ooh, okay. And then she would probably, like, you know, get something later, right? So she would suggest some of these things, but I don't think those naturally were her ideas. I guarantee we'll probably see some type of race play sex shit. And I know there are some parts of the conversation where Shannon was like, you know, Shannon got like a heavy tongue. Like, it's like he's speaking and that tongue is super heavy. Pause. He's like, I don't know how to hog tie. Like, whatever the fuck going on with him. You know? So, because this chick was kind of getting extreme with it. She was doing her Googles. And I think that's what a good woman does. She realized this nigga is into it, so she's like, all right, cool. I'm going to get into it too. I'm going to get my Googles and I'm going to suggest things to make you happy. So, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I really think this is Shannon's kink. Shannon dates a particular white woman all the time. And by the way, to add on to that, like even Kanye recently, like pretty much Kanye's admitted like he's a cuck as well. And we kind of see a lot of patterns, and now shit makes sense in the sense of that's probably part of why he's defending Diddy, right? Ye Ye's admitted he's changed his album to cuck. If you see another man getting persecuted for sitting in the corner whacking off while somebody fucks his bitch, and you feel you do that too, and women have said X, Y, and Z about you like they're saying about him, except he's in jail and you're not, maybe it's not even just about defending Diddy. It's like defending that behavior because that's you too. So I honestly believe all this freaky stuff is in the wheelhouse of what Shannon Sharpe likes. Not to use allegations against him, but the other woman who's Michelle Evans, I'll probably pull up the lawsuit for later or something. The allegation she was making was simply this. Shannon Sharpe, she said he assaulted her, but everything she described was a guy who got off on the idea of power and dominance, which is kind of what, like, you know, if depending on what role you're playing, like this BDSM shit, that's kind of what that is too. So the pattern seems to fall more on Shannon as opposed to some 20-year-old girl who's so super freaked out, she's like telling Shannon, no, I want you to whip me, I want you to do this, blah, 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 blah. I think all that was Shannon Sharpe's idea. I'm going to be honest.
Outside of that, I've been at Disney since October of 2003. I know this place. I know the worldwide leader that is ESPN, who's under the umbrella of Disney. And it wasn't difficult for me to figure out what was transpiring. As I sit here before you today discussing this matter, ESPN and Disney have a wait and see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about this entire situation involving Shannon Sharpe from a legal and from a civil perspective. What they didn't need as it pertains to those two things that I just mentioned, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there. It was uncomfortable.
I disagree with this guy. I'm not blaming Shannon Sharpe lawyer at all. The allegation is uncomfortable, my nigga. Why y'all act like this is some normal shit and be like, oh, Shannon Sharpe lawyer just did too much? They were alleging that. They were alleging that he was choking her out. They were going to release, which they did, multiple phone calls where he's saying, I'm going to choke you. There was a sex tape that was on the horizon, a 30-second snippet of the sex tape that was going to show, which, by the way, that would be really crazy. Imagine a victim leaks. You know that video, right? So the video supposedly that she has is the video of the assault. You get what I'm saying? Which, by the way, you know, shit. The court's going to play out interesting for this. That video of the tape we're talking about. Which, by the way, this is another thing, too. If she wanted him to go to jail and you have video of the sex. Second of all, how does she have video of the sex? Here's another thing, too. We get to find out a few things about the accuser. We get to find out that the accuser went to Houston like a few months before. Let me see. She took a trip to Houston, where Tony Busby's based, after Shannon Sharpe wouldn't get her pregnant. 2 months later, she secretly recorded their sex tape video, and Busby asked him for $50 million. That's not a little odd to y'all? So, I feel like she kind of... So, this assault, right? Think about this. Let me get some more details on it to make sure I'm saying the right things. Fall of 2022, that's when they met. Escalating preferences. Sharpe relocates. He moved to Vegas. All right. Demands for payment. Okay. Late November. So in November, right? In November, she goes that she was in Houston for a few weeks. Huh. And then she comes back saying, what's taking so long? You either have the cash to show me or you with Michelle. Which one is it, Shannon? Now, she has these videotapes, either because she has a Ring camera in the room or some type of hidden camera. But if you remember at the beginning of their relationship, she used to go over to his house. Towards the end, he was going over to her apartment, where she clearly rigged recording devices to capture moments like that she could use. Now, that's supposedly where all these incidents took place. Remember, they probably had sex hundreds or dozens of times, right? She only claims that he sexually assaulted her on 2 occasions. And apparently, I believe both occasions happened at her place, which we could now probably assume she has video of it. So here's the thing about like even the jail portion. All right, if you're saying that this is video of sex and it looks non-consensual, shit, that's like a really good help to the police. The police would probably be able to look at it and say, yo, oh, wow, this is not consensual sex. This goes far beyond the pale of just freaky ass nigga shit.
To listen to. And it was not something that Walt Disney once associated.
Who just sent in a donation? Give me 1 second. I'm going to read it.
Associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say I'm not surprised. In getting to know Shannon Sharpe, I know a lot of things that he has articulated that he has been through in his life. I can't imagine too many things in life tougher than what he's going through now. And there's a lot of people out there talking a lot of smack and a lot of stuff about him. You will never hear that from me. It will not happen.
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk shit about him. I'm just talking shit about his lawyer and his legal strategy. Yo, newsflash, Stephen A. You're talking shit about him. Like, newsflash. Let me tell you how this works, which you know all too well. Your lawyer speaks for you, and your lawyer speaks at your direction. There is no world where your lawyer is doing this and you're a victim of your lawyer. Shannon Sharpe is a grown man. He has agreed on the strategy of his lawyer putting these things out. He's agreed on the strategy of his lawyer, who's, by the way, is a great crisis management. That's the first listed job title when you go to his shit. Lanny Davis is known. He's represented presidents. You've agreed that he's going to do press for you. You've agreed that he's going to talk to people for you. Like, this idea that, oh, yeah, no, Shannon, he's cool, but his lawyer ain't shit. His lawyer's wildin'. No, you're saying that about Shannon. For example, I'm going to give you a good example. I'm going to tell you, I just got hit. Dirk's team hit me. They want me to interview Dirk's lawyer. I said, with pleasure. They said, we want to have a sit-down interview with you. We'll go over anything, come with whatever questions. We want to fully articulate the idea that this murder for hire is bullshit. We won't do it on your platform. Okay, let's do it. Do you think Dirk don't know about that? They approved it. We need to put this word out. We want the lawyer to give the viewing public and understanding of how they're taking advantage of Dirk. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I hear Stephen A. Smith saying, you won't hear me talking shit about Shannon, you're talking shit about his legal strategy, which he approved. You're talking shit about him, bro.
I don't give a damn. If
let me read this donation. Live from the deck. He says, this is a hugely popular sex race play that white girls absolutely love to play. In the back of their minds of many, and sometimes it's just unlocked. No doubt it's a fantasy for Shannon too, growing up in deep South Georgia. That's another thing. I guarantee a lot of pussy that Shannon used to get. Like, I used to have a couple friends that were football players. And it was, I don't know if they had that full kink, but they got a lot of pussy from white chicks who just love the fact they were big black Negroes. I guarantee Shannon coming up was probably the benefactor of white girls on campus or white girls in the vicinity just want to get, want to get their version of a scene from Black. And they probably was throwing it at him to the point where he probably like, hey, however he get it, he probably likes it. And now those hopefully were consensual, but that kind of created a kink for him. He started liking that shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Speak a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, years from now. He's my friend. And it's always going to be that way. I'd say...
Oh, my bad. Yo, Shannon, man, if you watching this, this is not true. He's my friend. It'll always be that way. Yeah, all right, nigga. Shannon, you're about you're like about one more audio clip away from Stephen A. Smith saying, I don't know that fuck nigga. We just showed up at work. We weren't that cool. Like, give it one more audio clip and Stephen A. Smith gonna sound like Whack 100 with Big U. 100%. Yo, bro, I don't know that nigga like that, bro. I don't know that nigga like that, bro. Watch.
And it's always gonna be that way. I'd say the same thing to you about anybody else that I know to be my friend.
Cap.
I don't have to work with you. I don't have to be around you. I don't have to be around you all the time, talking to you all the time, to have love for you and to wish you the best. And that's exactly what it's going to be for him. I sincerely hope that all of this goes away and we find there's a bunch of falsehoods to these allegations and he's able to come back in this industry and do what he has been doing, which has been phenomenal.
I also don't like this conversation here. This idea like he's done. I keep telling y'all, I don't really watch ESPN. Me personally, I know there's a lot of people that still do. Shannon Sharpe is going to have an impact whether sponsors like him or not, because Shannon Sharpe's podcast is engaging. Shannon Sharpe on Nightcap. Now, granted, I think he do got to change up some rhetoric, because, you can't be like, keep joking about fucking 19-year-olds. But his audience is going to stay, bro. He's going to be good. And to me, Shannon Sharpe, shows like Gilbert Arenas' show and shows like, It Is What It Is, they're more impactful to me than some of these broadcast TV shows. It's the reason why Stephen A. Smith, who has First Take, makes a podcast.
I hope Club Shay Shay and Nightcap and all of these other things that he's associated with, that he continues to thrive in his life and move forward. And whatever mistakes he may have made along the way, I'm not talking...
Yeah. Yo, Shannon, this nigga not your friend, man. This nigga basically saying... He talking like this is a funeral speech.
From a legal or civil perspective, I'm talking about in his eyes or that of others, whether it be moral or something else. I hope that he corrects whatever he feels he needs to correct and he moves forward.
That's a funeral speech, man.
But in the process of doing all of that,
you see, he got a little preacher tone.
I hope we're all reminded of a few things. And this extends far beyond a Shannon Sharpe or anybody else. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we need to remind ourselves of is that in this day and age, very few things are private, in this day and age, there's very few things that won't come to light, because most things do. But thinking beyond Shannon, thinking beyond myself, just thinking about the world that we live in terms of the podcast stratosphere and everything like that, a lot of people want to walk around thinking you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You could your own operation. You don't have to answer to anybody. That's not true. I've had people open their mouth and they've said, Stephen A., you work for ESPN. What kind of control do you really have? This is my podcast. This is my YouTube show. I own this. But if you think for 1 second that I could just do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and there's not going to be any repercussions, you're clueless. And you're destined to fail and fall on your face. I'm not talking about Shannon Sharpe.
Yo, this nigga Shannon is gonna sound like B-Dot next year. You're gonna be like, when's the last time you talked to Stephen A. Smith? I ain't talked to him since the news broke. Stephen A. Smith is setting himself up for, it's not gonna be a departure from ESPN, but he's setting himself up for either one or two things that is gonna make him pretty much the biggest sports-born media personality that have taken their talents to different heights. He's going to go either run for president, and yes, that is a conversation. And by the way, he's admitted that he's down to think about it, or he's leaving the door open for it, or he's going to get a late night show. If you watch how he maneuvers on this show, and even ESPN now, it's set up like a late night TV show with a set. You see him constantly, he'll go from sitting down to walking around. It's almost like he's doing monologues, damn near. This is somebody who realizes that not only is he the GOAT in sports commentary or sports, giving his opinion on sports and even covering sports, he got places to go. And freaky ass niggas like Shannon Sharpe will not hold him down, okay? He's going to realize quickly once, and by the way, the writing is on the wall already for Shannon. Shannon serves no purpose to him after that. Then we find out that we thought him and Skip was buddy-buddy, and then we found out that these motherfuckers didn't talk for years after Skip went to another station. It ain't no way you're going to tell me in 2-3 years when this nigga's trying to do all these other things that Stephen A. Smith is going to even still communicate with that nigga. Watch.
I'm not talking about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about a climate that we're living in. Some people sit up there and they look at me and they say, Stephen A. don't get himself in this kind of trouble. How does he pull it off? Well, first of all, there's certain behaviors and proclivities that you never have to worry about me engaging in. But most importantly...
Now, Stephen, I keep saying my favorite line, man. And not that you're digging a hole for Shannon, but remember, I always say dude too. The reality of this is we're all men, and the idea that you think anybody's behavior is too clean for an accusation is ludicrous. We're all at the mercy of a scorned woman, let's say if she puts a false allegation, or a woman who, for whatever reason, feels like she wants to extort you. As long as you deal with the opposite gender, and I'm saying the opposite gender, but shit, I guess if you deal with the same gender, these allegations could come out. Nobody's impervious to it. Right? There's no, unless you're just fucking celibate, right? Now, granted, do some people put themselves in situations that these type of allegations could arise more frequently than not? Yes. If you're fucking with OnlyFans models that are 19, yes, you're putting yourself in a place where it has a greater possibility of these things arising, as opposed to, and by the way, here's the thing. I don't know nothing about Stephen A. Smith's personal life. I don't know who he be fucking.
Than that, I often say this about Walt Disney. I'd rather work for a place with standards than one looking for them.
Now, this is also why I caution, not really caution, but like, see, Stephen A is like, oh no, you don't got to worry about me. Listen, Shannon was saying kind of some of the same stuff. Stephen A, we hope that nothing ever, or no chick, no PA, no chick you met at the bar or during the NBA finals in whatever city that you probably knocked down, she don't come out with a story about you either, brother. Because if that ever happens, they always got some clips that they're going to bring up. You don't think they're going to bring this clip up? God forbid it's a Latin chick that gets you caught up. Look, you remember this clip?
From ESPN in the house. And
I was going to ask,
Watch
how's your
this.
Spanish?
It's not good at all, but I'm working on it. I just need to be inspired. I need somebody to teach me how to speak Espanol. So I'm working on that. I'm working.
Maybe we can find someone to help you with that.
I'm looking for it.
I heard you love Latinas. Is that true?
I do. They've never loved me. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that attractive. I don't know what to say, but I've never received that kind of love, because trust me, had I would have accepted it.
Well, I like the new style.
Well, thank you so much. I'm working on it. I just had to upgrade just a little bit, show the versatility. I'm usually wearing looser clothing because I'm more comfortable in it, but everybody's been talking about this European style. So I went out, got the Tom Ford blazer, got the slacks, got the tie, got the square box and the whole bit, got my loafers.
To all your Puerto Rican fans that don't miss your show.
I love y'all. Watch first.
Anyway, they're always going to have like some little clip like, yo, see? So again, I don't know what the answer is about making sure you're 100% foolproof of not ever getting into a situation like this, because all it takes is like an accusation. Obviously, you hope you don't put yourself in that position. I think that's why a lot of people, I think the new move, the older and the richer you get, it's not even about really restricting yourself, but I see why niggas get married. You gotta get married that these other scallywags don't fucking put some shit on you. You know what I mean? But even then, you get married and there's an extortion at every turn. You get married, your wife is now plotting on a divorce, fucking a trainer. She gave you 3 kids. If you act up, she leaving with the kids. Like, there's always, being a successful guy, there's always somebody looking at you and your success and saying, all right, how does this shit benefit me? So a lot of times you're left with picking the less of two evils, right? If you're like, all right, well, I don't want to, because that's what a lot of these guys think. Like even Shannon, I don't want to get married. I did really good for myself. The millions are coming in. If I marry a chick, she gonna want half. She want to think she run my life. I'm going to just sit here, and I might trick a little bit, but I'm going to just run through these bitches. Yeah, you start running through these bitches till these chicks, like, they think they even feel more offended. They're like, damn, this rich ass nigga just using me as a pocket pussy? Like, fuck no, I ain't getting none out of this. Shit, I'm about to either say something or expose him or do something. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
First Take every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on ESPN2. It re-airs, plus I'm on ESPN.
Anyway, that was young Stephen A. That nigga was showing up to the game like he was about to bag the holes over the basketball play. Look at this nigga, man. Thought he was smooth. Look where his hairline's at right here. Where's this shit now? Let me see. Yeah. Age.
You know why? Because lines are drawn. And I never have to worry about crossing them because guess what? I've got something there reminding me, hold on. You don't need to do that. It's not a silo. I'm not by myself. I don't get to operate in any way that I want without having to worry about ramifications or repercussions. I always have to be concerned about that. So I'm challenged every day to come on the airwaves and think about the ramifications and repercussions of anything that I do. Constantly. And because of that, that's an additional guardrail to secure me from putting myself in a position that could jeopardize myself, my show, my brand, my family, the company that I work for, anything like that. Again, I'm not talking about Shannon right now. I'm talking about what people say when it comes to people like myself and others who
Stephen A., let me tell you this, my brother. I like this little speech you're going on, but clip it. Not because it never happened means it ain't never gonna happen. You see, what you about to go into in the next couple of years, you're talking about running for president. You're talking about having successful late night shows. It ain't never too late for this shit. That's what I'm trying. Like, yo, it only comes when you're about to hit some heights you ain't never been hit before. Now, granted, when you got that $100 million, I think, shit, if there was anything on you or any bitch that want to say some shit, it would have normally came up then. But if you run for president, watch. They going to know, stories going to come out about you cheating on a test, you stole candy from a store, and you never know what scallywag is in the cut that got something to say. So you can't speak, like, it's one of those things, we dudes, we just got to, because again, remember, it's not about doing something, it's the allegation. The allegation kills you. That's another reason, like, you know, I was always thinking about like, the Drake thing. I was like, if I was a woman, that Drake, like I don't know, like say Drake ain't buy you a Birkin or something like that. Man, I'm going to get my Birkin now. You get what I'm saying? Because all you need is an allegation. Like, in that moment when Kendrick saying all that fuck shit about Drake, which was demonstrably false, all it took was one woman who really fucked with him, or he fucked, to just, like, lean into, wait, I'm about to just say some shit. And that would have just, it would have amplified the Kendrick shit 100 times fold. You'd have had 30 other women, because monkey see, monkey do, trying to say, oh, shit, actually, I got something to say, too. You know how important it was for Drake not to have gotten an allegation or not being sued at that time? Which always led me to think, like, again, this has nothing to do with Drake. I'm just talking about people are opportunists, right? Maybe they were hitting Drake up behind the scene. I have no idea. Because again, and I keep having to say, I don't think none of these things would be true. But if you think random women in random cities who are broke as a joke, who know you're not going to take him serious, you're not going to give him a baby, you're not going to do whatever with them, or you cut him off for whatever reason, not one of them hoes came out and said nothing? Because I think we're all admitting, right? Because that's what I think this whole line on Shannon. So it gets to the point of saying, if she would lie on Shannon, you don't think she would lie on everybody? So that's why I was like, yo, yeah, Drake was kind of, he played that really well. Don't know exactly, you know, maybe just there was nothing there. Cool. But no allegations. But I also say that with Stephen A., because Stephen A. is going to try to get to these heights. And this is why we have this saying when someone really great and powerful gets taken down with these allegations, like, damn, he was about to buy CBS. Well, nigga, if Stephen A.'s stock is growing, his influence in the Democratic Party is growing. You never know. There might be a time we come back and we say, nigga got too powerful. They just cooked some shit up. So, knock on wood. Don't want to wish nothing on my good old brother Stephen A., because I think he's an amazing example for the black community. And, you know, he's held down that #1 media guy position for so long is admirable.
Apologetically explain that we have people to answer to. And all you folks out there with your own podcast, running your own operations, if you have advertisers and sponsors, get what? You answer to somebody too. And I'm here to tell you, don't be upset about it. Feel good about it. Because you need to view it as an extra line of security that enables you, it being a guardrail, it enables you to watch lines that you want to make sure that you don't cross. Because when those lines are always there, you usually know it. And you usually make sure you don't cross it. Because the bigger picture is always staring in front of your face. I've seen a lot of stuff happen over the last few months. I've seen a lot of stuff happen over the last few years. And in almost every case, guardrails.
Okay, all right. You know what we were watching earlier that I was like tripping on? Oh, are we done with that? I think we're probably done with the Shannon stuff, right? Yeah. I think we're done with it. So just to recap with Shannon, there are a few allegations, right? So we have the Zuniga girl. She's saying Shannon raped her twice. She's also listing a history of abuse. And the question of why did you stay? She says out of fear, and Shannon had a lot of power and control. Okay? There's another woman who was a PA for, I believe, Fox. I can't. There's a PA means production assistant. Shannon Sharpe, production assistant. Okay, so at Fox Sports, he was accused of choking a woman at his job, which is at FS1 when he was doing it with Skip. Now, we still don't know if that's one of the reasons that like he kind of got forced out there, but it probably was or something similar, because what ended up happening is that production assistant was like the company settled with her and she left and Shannon Sharpe continued. I think that Fox, who's not going to speak on the matter, they probably didn't want a bad press. Also, they knew if this blows up the show, probably at that time, like they were relying on the show to bring over some sports fans because Skip had a sports audience. And that's why they gave Skip the green light to make the show. Skip picks Shannon, and they needed this to work, so they paid off the girl, right? So while he was at FS1, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace. The story went under the radar because Sharpe and Fox settled with the accusers for several $100,000. And by the way, this is why probably Shannon, it appears that Shannon has settled a few times, right? But he settled for the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars, not millions, right? As this Gabrielle Zuniga girl, she wants millions of dollars, tens of millions. Rep for Shannon Sharpe told Front Office Sports there was no incident of choking involving Shannon on a FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. It's not clear when this incident took place, though at some point during Shannon Sharpe's 7 years with the network, okay? In 2010, he briefly took a leave from CBS Sports after a woman accused him of sexual assault and obtained a temporary restraining order against him. So those are the three things. You got Michelle Evans. That's when he was at CBS. Then you have this production assistant while he's at FS1. And then while I guess he's at ESPN, right? Because when did he start working with ESPN? Shannon Sharpe. When did he start working at ESPN? Where's the Wikipedia? Wikipedia. Here we go. Let me just search ESPN. Okay, yeah. Oh, so this was kind of like in the midst of him going to ESPN, right? 2023. Okay. And by the way, the place I was offering him $100 million supposedly was The Volume, which is founded by Colin Cowherd. Don't know how they're funded, but that was it. Okay. So those are the 3 allegations. All right. All right, chat. This is the Hangover stream. This is the Hangover stream, people. Last night I was incredibly lit. Usually I could tell how lit I'm gonna be with the consumption, but I got crazy amount of lit yesterday. So I got off streaming. By the way, thank you. You know, for the people who were here, I want to thank you guys because you guys could have just encouraged me to stay on and crash the fuck out. But for the people who said, get off stream, come back tomorrow, I really do appreciate you guys. It shows how much you guys care about me. All right. And by the way, this is going to be the plan. I'm probably going to stream for another like 30 minutes or an hour. And then I'm going to come back later today for the official day 2 stream. You get what I'm saying? So this is, I don't want y'all to count this as day 2, even though technically it is, but yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this other thing. Okay. Well, we did the thug stuff. Oh. All right. So what's gonna kind of happen is that this Diddy trial is about to happen, people, and it's getting interesting because now we're seeing everything kind of laid out in front of us. Pause. Diddy is now coming out and finally admitting some of his sexual kinks, right? You know, the freaky ass niggas. This is the same kind of thing now being an allegation where it's like, when you have a kink that is not considered normal or traditional, when that then comes with an allegation, you're seen as some type of deviant. What Diddy is trying to do, and by the way, the start of his trial or jury selection is actually in about, it's in a week from now, right? It's a week and a day, or a week and 2 days. So the following Monday, not next Monday, but the next Monday. And that is going to be when his trial is supposed to start. The judge has declined him to have any pushbacks, even after he added Brian Steele to his attorney list. Brian Steele is a notorious lawyer who just got off Young Thug. And this is what we're now seeing. They denied extending the time for the trial. And what usually happens is federal court moves way swifter, way quicker than state court that's really bogged down. They're usually trying to get this shit going on. The reason why they denied Diddy the extension, they said, you already have a shit ton of lawyers. Have your lawyers catch your new lawyer up to speed and figure it out by 5th. The government has also claimed they gave all the evidence to Diddy and that Diddy should be prepared. Okay? Now, Diddy is now coming out and, you know, not necessarily coming out and saying, but like they're kind of angling their defense. Their defense seemed to say Diddy is a freaky ass nigga, but Diddy is not a creep or he's not a rapist or a sexual or a sex trafficker. They've admitted that he is a swinger, which is very interesting, okay? The reason why they would likely want to put that out there, because even though being a swinger is a non-traditional lifestyle or sexual type of choice, what does help Diddy is that he's looking forward to what's going to happen. Remember, there's no defendants other than Diddy. There's no co-conspirators that are charged or indicted. So who's going to testify against him? Well, we know for sure Cassie. But also what we do know, because we've heard this a bunch, the male escorts that were hired, they're going to as well testify, supposedly, some of them, against Diddy. So why is Diddy now putting out that he's a swinger? Because it even though it's some freaky shit, it normalizes or tries to normalize what you're going to see in court, that he would like, that he was watching other men have sex with his woman. And without trying to normalize it like, oh no, that's just my lifestyle choice, but it's all consensual, people might think that is, I'm pretty sure the prosecutor is going to kind of paint it as, yo, you are orchestrating a rape scene. Like, this woman don't want to do it. You are forcing other men to basically rape her. You watching it. That's sick. What he's going to be contending is that I'm a swinger and Cassie was a swinger too. We both enjoyed other people. Okay? So lawyers plan to argue as Diddy's sex trial or sex trafficking trial that a disgraced music mogul was merely living a swinger lifestyle. And he's not a rapist like the feds have made him out to be. There's a lifestyle, call it swingers or whatever you will, that he thought was appropriate because it was common. Mark Agnifilo said at a Friday pretrial hearing for the rapper in Manhattan court. So they've said that. He's a swinger. By the way, anything the lawyer's saying, Diddy must have approved. Agnifilo argued that Combs' belief that it was acceptable to have multiple partners or hire escorts to prove, or to hire escorts proves he didn't intend to commit a crime. Okay, what? Agnifilo argued that Combs' belief that it was appropriate or acceptable to have multiple partners or hire escorts. Okay, so they're saying the mere fact that he was hiring escorts, he wasn't trying to rape women, right? Like, why would you hire escorts if you're just trying to commit sexual assault, right? So they're saying he didn't mean to commit a crime, right? Or not mean to commit a crime, he didn't commit a crime. By the way, this is how Diddy now looks here. They're saying Diddy looks very different. They're saying he's fully grayed up, hair all the way gray, beard all the way gray. And it looks from this picture, he looks a little bit emaciated more than normal. They're saying that prison food has not been so nice and well to Diddy, and physically he doesn't look the same, right? He looks different from the normal body type you would see him with. They said many people think it's appropriate because it's common. It says Judge Arun Subramanian ruled from the bench that Combs' lawyers will be able to make their swinger argument, right? But they're not allowed to name other notable figures who are believed to have allegedly hired sex workers or participate in the proposed lifestyle. Wow. Ain't that interesting, chat? I'm not surprised by that. But isn't it interesting that the judge is protecting other celebrities? So Diddy can't be like, nah, me and Ja Rule, we used to do swinger parties. Like, he can't name anyone else, which, by the way, for the press and everybody else who's going to be at the trial, and shit, I might even show up. That's going to be the interesting part. People do want to know who the hell else y'all were trading partners with, or y'all were having these orgies or whatever the hell, or what guys you had come fuck Cassie that got you off. Pause. The update comes after federal prosecutor revealed on Friday that Combs had rejected a plea offer. So now we get to know something even more. They did offer a plea deal to Sean Combs, and it appears that Sean Combs has rejected the plea. Now, what is that plea deal? It was probably some years. He's currently facing what's tantamount to life in prison. So what do you think they offered? Now, we don't have any details about what they offered, and it wasn't provided in court. Also, a follow-up, conversation with Mark Agnifilo. He wouldn't say necessarily what the plea deal was. I'm pretty sure at some point we'll find out, right? But he was offered a plea. And the plea deal in question, I would have imagined, I got to think it's at least 10 years. I'd probably say 10 to 30. Maybe they offered him 15, right? Anything after 30, I don't think a deal is even worth considering. Diddy's in his mid-50s. A 30-year sentence would bring him to 80s, damn near. that would be pretty much life in prison. So I would imagine that this plea deal was about or in the range of maybe 15 years. Now, 10 years, I think that's even long as well. Diddy's been incarcerated. How long has he been incarcerated for? Diddy locked up since when? Okay, since September. So it's still going on a year. He still hasn't even been locked up a year yet. It's about like 7 months so far, 7, 8 months. Diddy age. He's 55, right? I keep saying 30-year-old. 30-year sentence is definitely going to take him to late 70s, even with the 15% reduction. Yeah, if a plea was, and even now, I don't think Diddy really, I actually don't believe that even if they offered him 10, he would take it. I don't think he would take it. It's clear he doesn't enjoy being in jail. Nobody does. I think he thinks he has the best shot of beating this outright. And by the way, I do think this case looks kind of weak, other than Cassie and Cassie's, her testimony. And that's going to be really important. Cassandra Ventura's testimony against Diddy is going to either sink or allow him to have some level of flotation for the rest of the things. Because again, and I don't know what angle they're going to take with her. She's going to testify. She's going to be on there by name. There will be no anonymity for her. But I'm wondering if Diddy's lawyer is going to attack her on the stand and say, Cassie, read here. Didn't you message Diddy and say, yo, we should fuck her? Or we should, that guy, yeah, you could pick him to fuck me. Or whatever the case is. Weren't both y'all swingers? Weren't y'all both in this equally? Isn't it interesting that you're up there testifying and not being charged? And she probably signed some immunity deal. They're definitely going to ask about that. Did you sign an immunity deal with the government? Because you're not getting prosecuted when you used to do the same shit as Diddy. Y'all both recruited people. Y'all both traveled around the world or flew in this person from here to and third. We will see, right? But that is the latest. Diddy rejects plea offer. They're starting to pick a jury next. By the way, this is going to trial in 7 months. 7 months this shit is going to trial. Rather quick. There's going to be no pushbacks.
A rejected plea offer.
Individuals and alleged victims had consented to, doesn't want to.
I'm trying to see if we, okay. Now, what also came out in court is that they're claiming that there's additional videos of Diddy beating up Cassie, right? And these videos are going to depict some important shit. It's going to show this violent pattern by Diddy. But still, I think we all kind of agree, or we kind of look at it like Diddy's violent. We're trying to see if it's the sex trafficking shit, like the sexual assault. Like, is there proof that he's sexually assaulting these women or not?
Is victim one in the indictment, and the prosecution wants to introduce this evidence to prove sex trafficking, that there was a sex worker in that hotel room from which Ventura was escaping, the evidence of the infamous freak-off, or one of the freak-offs. And again, let me lay this out, what the arguments are. So in a previous filing, Combs has been trying to have this evidence excluded from trial. Obviously, he doesn't want a jury to see this. One of the arguments he made was, quote, there's no longer any dispute from the CNN footage from March 5th, 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel, offered by the government at 3 separate bail hearings, is wholly inaccurate, having been altered, manipulated, sped up, and edited to be out of sequence. As indicated below, CNN paid Redacted, don't know who this person is, we can guess, Redacted for footage copied that footage in unknown ways, presented that footage out of order, and destroyed the original. Accordingly, all the footage from CNN is inaccurate and inadmissible. As for the 2 items of footage filmed by an iPhone 6, those pieces of footage are inaccurate and inadmissible as well. And then they go into reasons why. Now, apparently someone took cell phone videos of that footage too, and Combs' defense argued several points, like the CNN video and the iPhone videos have to be excluded because the government can't provide sufficient evidence of their authenticity. How can you prove what you're purporting it to be? The defense argues that none of the files at issue are the actual originals, even though they make the argument that they made a good faith effort to find the originals. That the probative value, so their relevance at trial to prove, let's say, sex trafficking, is outweighed by the risk of unfairly prejudicing the jury. The jury seeing this footage and all the problems allegedly associated with it, whatever relevance it has, it's outweighed by all that. Now,
Willie, what up, bro?
in a recent filing from the government objected to all this. They argued, for example, it is by the defendant's own hand that the original version of this damning footage no longer exists. It was deleted and given to the defendant as part of a cover-up orchestrated by the defendant and his co-conspirators.
Whoa. Let's read that. It's the defendant, so it's Diddy's own hand that the original version doesn't exist. It was deleted and given to the defendant as a part of a cover-up. The court must not reward the defendant. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What the fuck? So now we're getting more details about how this footage of the hotel incident kind of came about. It's apparent that when Diddy paid for the footage, he kept a copy. What the fuck? Why the hell? It's like Diddy was keeping videotapes of his crimes. What the hell was he thinking? So either someone at his crib saw the footage and sold it. So somebody at his crib probably going through tapes and be like, what the fuck is this? Oh shit, they record it or they copy it. And that's how they sold it? Or the feds, when they raided it, they found the tape. Huh.
The court must not reward the defendant for his actions by precluding the video that remains available despite the defendant's obstructive efforts. And that goes to the allegation that he paid for the footage and hid it and all that. And I thought this was also an interesting response to the argument of authentication. The government responded in a filing. The defendant himself also authenticated the content depicted in the videos. Following CNN's initial broadcast of footage from the Intercontinental Hotel, which, by the way, we all saw last year when CNN published it, the defendant posted a video on his Instagram in which he admitted that he was in the video and apologized for his behavior depicted in the video. At no point did the defendant dispute the accuracy of the video or the events it depicted. It's a good point. And also, they say, the defendant raises a variety of potential issues with the available videos, ranging from their playback speed to their time.
Yeah, that apology by Diddy was just, I think he was trying to save his image in a court of public opinion, and that is being used against him in court.
Timestamps, which he claims makes the videos unreliable. Not only are the videos reliable, but the defendant's concerns are relevant only to the weight the evidence is accorded, rather than the video's admissibility. In other words, meaning allow the jury to decide what value to give these videos. Don't just not let it in. So, Elizabeth, I laid it out. What was the discussion regarding this 2016 footage, which I will go on record as saying I think arguably the most important piece of evidence? I say that, I don't know what the rest of the evidence is, but from what we see so far, what was the discussion regarding that footage, and is the judge going to allow it to come in?
Yep. Well, it looks like yes. I just want to spoil it for everyone. Okay. The judge.
Okay, so they're going to be allowed to use the videotape.
Is allowing this CNN video to be played, so we are going to see it. And just even taking a step back, there were a lot of moments throughout our coverage of this entire legal saga, from Cassie first filing her lawsuit, it was settled, but there were two moments outside of Diddy's arrest that were humongous in this case. One being his homes being raided by the feds, and then also when this video came out. This video is huge. A lot of people have seen this video, and the prosecution, the government has long said that this piece of evidence, the video, is critical to Diddy came out with that apology. Piece together, one in normal speed, the surveillance video that we saw, but also the cell phone video as well too.
She is a clinical and forensic psychologist who actually testified, by the way, in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. The defense objected to her testimony. In fact, here's how the... So the next part that came up was about the testimony of prosecution witness Dr. Dawn Hughes. We've discussed her before. She is a clinical and forensic psychologist who actually testified, by the way, in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. The defense objected to her testimony. In fact, here's how the prosecution described what her anticipated testimony would be like, and this is from a recent filing. The following includes the anticipated opinions the government expects Dr. Hughes will offer regarding sexual abuse and victim responses to sexual abuse, coercive control, coping strategies during and in relation to sexual abuse, delayed disclosure and memory of sexual abuse. All important to understand maybe why the alleged victims did or did not do what they did in this case. And it went on to say that the government expects that Dr. Hughes will testify about coercive control as a tactic of victimization, i.e. the state or process of becoming a victim, and a strategy to gain dominance across a spectrum of relationships. Coercive control, they say, often includes a variety of physical, sexual, and/or emotional tactics that together function to control the victim, such as actual or threatened physical violence, aggression, sexual assault and abuse, sexual degradation, financial and economic control, control over reproductive health.
Yeah, I think that video alone will get him a guilty charge. Yeah, I did. They definitely did try to poison a jury pool, a potential jury pool. I mean, that video, it allows for her to get on the stand and cry and say, yo, even if you see videos of me squirting from getting fucked by whoever, and I'm having fun, it looks like on face value, I'm having fun in these orgy freak off videos. I wasn't. I was being forced. And the proof of me being forced is that if I did anything homie ain't like, he beat my ass. You get what I'm saying?
Control through the use of drugs or alcohol. This almost mirrors a lot of the allegations from the indictment. And in another recent filing, the prosecution said, quote, Dr. Hughes is expected to testify that interpersonal violence is violence or abuse committed between individuals, including rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, or intimate partner violence, among others, and also refers to dynamics related to coercion and emotional abuse that may not necessarily involve physical violence as commonly understood. Dr. Hughes will not purport to explain what coercion is under the law applicable to this case. Rather, she will explain the concept of coercive control as understood within academic literature and within the practice of psychology. Throughout her testimony, Dr. Hughes will make clear that the terms she uses and the concepts she explains are all used within the field of psychology and are not legal terms or definitions. The reason that's important is because the defense objected to this. And in one of their filings, they said, Hughes also proposes to testify about what coercion means in the context of her discussion of the concept of coercive control. And her definition is different from the legal definition. According to Hughes, coercive tactics can include not just violence and threats, but a variety of other subtle tactics, including ostensibly positive behavior such as rewards, positivity, affection, normalcy, which can create emotional attachment and psychological dependency. According to her, anything counts. That's what the defense said. And then Combs provides a specific example in one of his filings that, quote, the evidence in this case will show, for example, that Combs financially supported his girlfriends. That does not count as coercion under the legal definition, but it would count under Hughes' definition. Suppose the evidence shows that after a fight, Combs apologized, expressed love, and bought his girlfriend a gift. That would not...
Now, I hope you guys understand. So these are like the very minute things that, so they have like this pre-trial hearing, and they're going over everything that could be introduced into trial. It's like the judge saying, that's fair game, that's not fair game, that's fair game, that's fair game, that's not fair game. And it's allowing what arguments are going to be made, right? For example, the swinger argument. They said that's fine, right? Now, the small victories that Diddy's trying to win is to prevent certain evidence from being allowed in the trial, and also prevent certain arguments from being made. So if they're saying, yo, we want to bring up this psychologist that's going to talk about how abusive men control their women and then later sex traffic their women, they want to get that out of here, especially when part of the definition and explanation is saying using money to control. Well, Diddy's a billionaire. I don't know if you want to call it control, but he probably pays for everything for everybody around him. You get what I'm saying?
Not count as coercion under the legal definition, but it would count under Hughes' definition. And then Combs further argues that while Hughes provides a concrete definition of coercive control, in one of the articles she apparently cites, it's explained that coercive control.
So this is one of those big time like psychologists, but it's like an abuse psychologist or whatever the case
is really undefined. And other sources don't help her either with her definition. So in other words, the defense says if she starts talking about coercive control, it's going to confuse the jury. There's a definition, the legal definition, he's charged with crimes like this, and her definition of it. So I think I laid it all out.
Yeah, so that woman wrote a book, and some of the definitions of things she's speaking about in her book is her own interpretation through her own expertise, versus there's a legal definition, and they're saying, don't bring this bitch up in the goddamn trial. She gonna be up there talking about shit in her book while we in court, and we need to figure out the facts as it pertains to the law, not whatever this chick got going on or whatever she's interpreted the law to be.
Elizabeth, what was the discussion on Dr. Dawn Hughes, coercive control, interpersonal violence, and what was the decision?
So it was granted in part and denied in part. So pretty much the judge ruled they cannot talk about coercive control.
Okay.
That will be
That's a win for Diddy.
When it comes to her testifying. And she can also not testify about the intent/motivation of abusers.
Okay.
And so what was granted, though, is that she can testify about delayed disclosure. She can also testify about memory issues. And we've seen it a lot in other cases where there are victims who have, delayed in disclosing what they went through, either with, a partner or even just in general from their alleged perpetrator. We've seen that before. And so to me, I'm not surprised that the judge ruled that way. Bad happens. The jury can understand what abuse is. The jury aren't too into the weeds to not understand what this means.
You don't need an expert.
Exactly. You don't need an expert to tell you. And so the judge, by the way, will monitor these lines very, very strictly. So there's not a lot of distracting sidebars. There's not a lot of moments where we have to, for example, start court late or something like that so they can argue about these types of things. So it seems like the judge, especially once Dr. Hughes gets on the stand, will be very strict in monitoring what can be said and what can't be said. But for now, it looks like no coercive control. We won't see those words uttered out of Dr. Hughes's mouth. No intent about or motivation of abusers, but can testify again about delayed disclosure and memory issues.
And that's important, right? Because a juror member could say, well, wait a minute, if she really was attacked, there was a victim, why didn't she report it? Why didn't she go to the police? There's some, and our understanding has changed, and sometimes you do need an expert opinion about that. Okay, now I want to move on to this other thing. We talked about this last time. There's a lot of discussion about whether or not the prosecution can introduce evidence of uncharged acts, like alleged sexual assaults committed by Combs, allegedly committed by Combs from back in the day in this case. What did the judge say about that, or what did the government say about that more specifically?
Yeah. So it was a defense motion, and so the judge granted it, but absent the door opening. So if someone opens the door, they can go ahead and talk about it.
Because the defense said it was so unfair to bring in all of this other stuff to prove the federal crimes. I mean, you're talking, they actually objected and said they would have to do all of this research. It'd be like a mini trial within a trial. Yeah. It's overly prejudicial. So what, in terms of, when you say open the door, you mean if the defense does something or Combs takes the stand, then they might be able to introduce it? What else did we learn?
So yeah, in a previous filing, the government said that at this time, the government does not currently intend to offer evidence of redacted unless the defense opens the door to these types of topics at trial. So for example, if the defense were able to or argue through opening statements or cross-examination that the defendant has never engaged in acts of violence, has never engaged in obstruction, or has never possessed a gun, then the government may ask the court to consider admitting certain evidence to redacted to respond to those arguments or areas of cross-examination. So again, if the door is open, then it seems like that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But somebody just has to open that door, and that could happen just at a blink of a moment. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out.
Defense has to be careful about what they say. All right, now there was a lot of stuff about charts, right? Yeah. And the way I understand it is, right, the government wants to introduce charts because there's so much evidence, travel records, hotel records, financial records, phone records, text messages, emails, photographs. They can't go one by one by one, right? So if we can have an expert talk about a chart showing, I guess, all the evidence that was collected? I mean, what did we learn about charts today?
Yeah, these are like micro things. I mean, we're getting closer to the trial starting, so they're arguing over every little thing.
Victims 2, 3, and 4 can testify under pseudonyms. The defense says that they object to particularly victim 3 and victim 4. Now, as why they don't object to victim 2, that's unclear. That portion was redacted in their filing to the judge. But it looks like for now that victim 2, 3, and 4 will continue on testifying under a pseudonym. What that pseudonym will be, that's a wait and see. But
usually it could be Jane Doe.
Jane Doe, yeah.
And victim 1, we believe, is going to reveal her name. Again, we believe that to be Cassandra Ventura. And there's a lot of reasons why alleged victims would want to proceed anonymously. You know, they're worried about harassment. They're worried about their safety, humiliation.
And if some are like possibly known figures who
Right.
have gone on podcasts and talked about their time with the defendant, then I can understand why they'd want to go under a pseudonym too. And Jesse, one more thing I do want to mention is that there was a moment in court today where there were issues coming up just about the indictment, specifically the defense questioning how the grand jury voted when they did their proceedings. And so,
And by the way, you mean like the new indictment?
yeah, the
right?
new indictment, because there's been
three superseding indictments.
Three superseding indictments from the one we first got back in September. And so I can see why the defense is a little frustrated here. They keep getting more documents. They keep getting more things filed against their client. And, you know, with 2 weeks now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see next week. So not this coming Monday, or not Monday, like tomorrow. But 2 days from now, we will, or not 2 days, a week from tomorrow, we will see how they pick the jury. Clearly, if I'm Diddy, you got to try to pick a unbiased group of people. Chat, what do y'all think? If you're Diddy and you're telling your lawyer, what would the strategy be? Do you try to pick all black people up there, or do you not? I think everybody knows about Diddy. I think Diddy's a very popular person. But who do you think will give him the best chance of beating this shit? Let's say it's a bunch of niggas up there, or when I'm just black people. Like, yeah, they know him, but maybe they're like, you know what? Maybe they're kind of on the side of it. As opposed to just white people, they might know of Diddy, but because they have like no attachment to hip hop culture, no whatever, they might just be on some, all we've heard about him is his sex trafficking shit, and it's been drilled in our brains also with that video from CNN that even just unconsciously it's just going to affect you. That they're looking at like, this nigga fucking probably did it. Somebody said we could what? Somebody said if it's black women, he's overly cooked. Y'all think so? I think he has a better chance with people that have some cultural experience. And I'm talking about people who have some type of endearing feeling towards hip hop. Somebody said no black jurors, please. Really? Somebody said everybody knows he's guilty. I mean, he's trying to fight it, so. Would I be surprised if Diddy gets a not guilty verdict? No. Now, I don't think he's going to get found not guilty. I think he's going to get found not guilty, but on some charges. I think the RICO charge, you know how I feel about RICO charges. I feel like once they hit you with that, that's the big net, the catch-all charge. I could see him getting found guilty of that, and then getting found guilty of the Cassie charge, which is count 2, and then the other counts him getting found not guilty on. So it'll be a mix or a split decision.
until trial begins. I can imagine why they're a little frustrated. But Mark Agnifilo made this argument, and he said there might be a constitutional issue when it comes to this, especially when it comes to his client going on trial for what the grand jury voted for, as opposed to what has been put in the superseding indictments that have come in afterwards. And so the defense says that they're gonna, so the judge didn't make a ruling as it pertains to this at all. The defense is gonna find some cases that talk about.
Okay. I think we're good. Now, let's kind of keep it going. Chat, by the way, this is the Hangover stream. For whatever amount of hours I didn't do last night, I'm trying to get to it today. So Kanye's been streaming with Neon and Sneak Up. You know, Kanye's idea is that he wants the entire streaming community to kind of stream his album rollout and to be a part of what he got going on. Except, you know, the dynamic between Kanye and streamers are hilarious. Neon, Kanye. If you look up some of these clips, what you will see is that Kanye is kind of trying to get used to these guys. But also, Kanye got to remind him constantly that he's motherfucking Ye. You get what I'm saying? So first of all, it looked like Neon had tried to cut off Kanye while, he tried to cut off Kanye while Kanye was, you know, finishing a thought. And Kanye ain't like that shit. Kanye actually called him out for it. This is what happened. Check this out. Wait, let me play a longer video. It's here.
Mask worn in Donda season that
you hear?
Like have eye holes in it. Yes, sir. As opposed to, thank you very much, sir. Like have eye holes.
Let me try to turn this up.
And yes, I did wear it before, and I don't mean to be rude to you, guys. Gentlemen, do not cut me off while I'm in the middle of my sentence while we're talking about it. I know you guys might do that on streaming. Just don't do that here, and I prefer that when I'm done talking, you guys say yes, sir, as opposed to thank you very much, sir.
Yo, what's up with the yes sir thing? I mean, I get it. It seems like a way to be polite, and it's not one-sided. Like Ye as well says yes sir, but I'm wondering why specifically yes sir. He says say yes sir, not thank you sir. Like,
but you guys would definitely be. You should have been able to find it by now. That's what's dope about streaming, though.
Yeah. It looks like
they're looking for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Where can we get a Balenciaga balaclava?
But it's the one
with the no eyes.
Yeah. No mouth, no eyes. It's not just where someone.
Hello.
Someone.
Yeah, okay. There's just like these other clips where this is Neon talking to Ye about him faking his death.
Yeah, you have to tell people how you fake like you had cancer.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy. I was a kid. I was like 13 years old. I was like, bro, what the fuck can I do to like make people just go crazy? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I didn't have a plan. I just did it. And then the worst part is I got caught at the Rockets game. So I was at a Houston Rockets game with my mom, like courtside. I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking excited. The Houston Rockets, I love them. Yeah. And then they were showing a replay of like a jump shot, and I was in the background, and then they caught me.
Oh, that's when you had died. You faked that you had died?
Yeah.
And then they called that you was alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, this nigga faked his own.
Oh my God.
This nigga's a mastermind.
There's some other clips as well. But anyway, I don't even think I finished playing that 7-minute thing. Neon, Kanye. I'm trying to find that 7-minute stream. We were playing it earlier, then I called top 5 in it. I think we just went all the way left after that. Where is it at? Shout out to Ye, man.
You ain't telling me on the phone, nigga. This nigga told me he was at the Chateau with a gun, nigga.
Oh.
Party. And that's what happened. Kim was like the Virgil. Kim was like Paris Hilton's Virgil. And that's what happened. If you have a fucking, if you like Arnold Schwarzenegger and you have a kid with a nanny, The nanny only power is to take your kids. So Kim's only power is to take my kids. I had a baby with a fucking assistant, bro. And then put her on Vogue. Then put her on Vogue, bro. You can't put no motherfucking assistant on Vogue, bro. That's exactly what Bernardo know did, and it's king time now, bro. No more motherfucking assistants, no more hugs. That shit light, bro. That shit light. Cardi album was trash, bro. Motherfucking Evil Jordan is like the Benjamins. It's one of the best, illest songs ever. That's inside of him. Them fucking choirs on motherfucking Crush is like two niggas thinking they Ye in the studio talking about what would Ye do without calling Ye. Call Ye, nigga. Call me, nigga. I wouldn't have did that. Them niggas, matter of fact, Cardi stole my producers, bro. Stole OG Volta. Yeah, nigga stole the skinhead swag. Where the swastika, nigga? Where's the swastika, nigga? Hell Hitler, nigga. We talking about the skinhead shit. Niggas shit. Go all the way with it.
Hold up, yeah. Hold on, my nigga.
Nigga. Oh, I gotta tell you another thing that Cardi said to me on the phone, nigga. This nigga told me he was at the chateau with a gun, nigga. What that mean, nigga? And then nigga say he don't be on the internet. It's like, if you don't be on the internet, what we talk about then? And I ain't say nothing then.
Yo, his new teeth make him sound like, you could tell like his teeth. Yo, did Kanye really take out every fucking, I don't know how people who do, what do you call it again? What's the name of the procedure? Like even the veneers, like that's kind of crazy to me. I mean, you file your teeth down to like these little things, and that's now your God-given teeth, and you put something over it and screw it. Like what the fuck? But Kanye kind of do talk like he got dentures though. I don't know. Like you could tell like his voice sounds a little bit different.
I'll be on the internet. It's like if you won't be on the internet, what we talk about then? And I ain't say nothing then.
Because you sound childlike here, but I think it's because of the teeth.
Nigga, Cardi call me.
Oh, it's a grill. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, never mind. Yeah, everybody talks weird with the grill in. Yeah.
Nigga, I wouldn't have did that. Them niggas, matter of fact, Cardi stole my producers, bro. Stole OG Volta. Yeah, nigga stole the skinhead swag. Where the swastika, nigga? Where's the swastika, nigga? Hell Hitler, nigga. We talking about the skinhead shit. Niggas go all the way with it, nigga. Oh, I gotta tell you another thing that Cardi said to me on the phone, nigga. This nigga told me he was at the chateau with a gun, nigga. What that mean, nigga? And then nigga say he don't be on the internet. It's like, if you don't be on the internet, what we talk about then? And I ain't say nothing then. My whole thing with Cardi is I love him, and it hurts me, but it ain't no more motherfucking hugs, Bernard Arnault. It ain't no motherfucking hugs, Epstein, and no motherfucking hugs, Bob Iger. It's no more hugs, Netanyahu. You Jew niggas is not gonna treat me like I'm some kind of summer camp training nigga to hype these niggas up. What is it? Hell yeah, niggas need that immediately. Immediately. But I gotta get Dave Blunt's writing on my shit because the nigga Drake, you know, he gonna think of some cold shit. This nigga is like Shakespeare, greatest fucking writer of our time. But the nigga, because of Dave Blunt's circumstance, like the fact that he been overweight is like me being from Chicago and niggas looking at me like a pink polo faggot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but nigga Chicago mad at that. Chicago always wanted a killer to be the head of Chicago. It always was a little thing, like even when Chance got to play Ye for a summer and shit, it was just like, I remember
he says Chance the Rapper got to play Ye for a summer.
Next to my Gangsta Disciple niggas, and they was dissing Chance to me, but really they was dissing me. Cause they was like, no, we need like a real, cause Chicago is the #1 killer city, blah, blah. We need a real killer nigga like how they got, New York got Jay-Z. They respected that. It's like, this is a real hustler. This is real. They wanted that, but they didn't get that. They got this faggot ass nigga talking about sucking his cousin. Yo, by the way, Cameron, talk to me, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck Cameron. I always respected. Hold on, I gotta talk about Cam for a second. What'd you say?
I'm about to be on Boozie's ass for you.
No, now I don't want none of y'all to be on nothing for me. I'ma slide myself.
Yo, he's talking to top 5. Yo, how does top 5 even get into this type of shit?
Whatever that means and shit, I'm not, you know, but.
Yo, top 5 is so hot. Top 5 is like, yo, I'm about to go kill him for you. yo, yeah, I'm about to go kill him for you. Yo, Yeah, this is how you know Ye plain crazy. Ye plain crazy. Ye ain't crazy at all. Ye is perfectly sane. As soon as a nigga just said some federal indictment shit, yo, I'm about to be on Boosie's ass for you. He's dead. What? No, hold on. I didn't say that now. Hold on now. Wait, hold up. Hold on a minute. Hell nah, nigga. Don't get Ye indicted. Ye was ranting, doing all that shit, act like, yo, what the fuck? Fuck you. As soon as he heard that shit sounded like a federal RICO charge. He said, oh, no, I didn't tell you how to do that.
No, now I don't want none of y'all to be on nothing for me. I'ma slide myself, whatever that means and shit. I'm not, you know, but I'm not shooting nobody. I'm not fucking getting locked up for none of you, bro.
Yeah, this is how you know Ye be trolling.
They got this faggot ass nigga talking about sucking his cousin. Yo, by the way, Cameron, talk to me, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck Cameron. I always respected. Hold on, I gotta talk about Cam for a second. What'd you say?
I'm about to be on Boosie's ass for you.
No, now I don't want none of y'all to be on nothing for me. I'ma slide myself, whatever that means and shit. I'm not, you know, but I'm not shooting nobody. I'm not fucking getting locked up for none of you broke ass niggas. but what I'm saying is like, yo, Cameron is a nigga that's like, yo, I love Cameron. I respect this nigga's an ill ass nigga, bro. He like a nigga.
But you're just better than Cameron.
I'm just better than these niggas, and by the way, they jealous, and I get it. Everything I do is to get these niggas. They gonna be jealous I know how it is to be jealous. I was jealous of Virgil. I was jealous of Drake. I was jealous of Elon. Elon that gave me so many passes, bro. I done like kirked out on Elon and shit before, and he still gave me this platform. And having this platform made me say, fuck these Jews, faggot, women be the one.
All right, yeah. Them niggas wildin'.
Like, that nigga made a monster. Elon made a monster by not turning my shit off this time. Now y'all seeing a different level, nigga, bro. It's like, I can say whatever, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But by the way, and then Mace tried to come by and scam me for some money too, nigga. And then my wife was sitting there, and then niggas like, yo, give me like $3 million for this, for the church and shit like that. And Barry hit me, said, nigga, you bet not give Mace none of that money. And you know with me, it's like, I love Mace. He one of my top 5 favorite rappers is Simplicity. And then, but niggas like, they didn't want to come and take advantage, but obviously the money, God blessed me with the money, right? And by the way, it's like when Game asked me for the Maybach, he asked me to borrow the Maybach, right? And I was like, yo, take the Maybach. So I want to know what the whole connection, because I'll be down. If I'm talking to you, I might as well talk to Game, because I stopped talking to Game because he was hurting your shit. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, how you trying to be out here like, I'm in LA, I got your back, and blah, blah, blah. But then you're hurting a nigga shit that's threatening me.
Game reached out to me. He's like, yo, because I got respect for Game.
Yo, I kid you not, man. I don't know how Top 5 gets into these situations. It's the mere fact that him and Ye are going back and forth is wild. All right. It gets banned 7 minutes on Twitch. Wait, did Ye get taken off Tidal? Let me see if Twitch still has his account up. It was twitch.tv/Ye. I think that's what it was. Or Kanye? It was. Let's see. Kanye West Twitch. Let's see it. Yeah, it looked like he is definitely banned. I'm trying to figure out what his account was. Whatever. All right, man. Chat. Is this iconic, or is this? What will I think about this picture right here, chat? In like 2 years, I think this shit was legendary. I think it was legendary. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas say. This shit was legendary. Shout out to Ye, man. Kanye was banned from Twitch 7 minutes in the first stream. During the stream, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Yo, it's 8 o'clock. At least I got back on here, right? I was feeling bad. All right. I'm gonna call this a wrap. The Hangover stream is done. I feel like I'm sober now. I'm about to go do construction work on my crib. Yo, chat, this is gonna be TMI. No Shannon Sharpe, by the way. Yo, I installed this new fucking toilet. Like, it's like this shit got heated seats. I did it all myself, by the way. So happy, so proud. It got heated seats. Nigga, I don't even know how they do it. Even the water's warm. Like, the water coming out of shit's warm. What else? It got a whole remote to it. It's just fire. It got a light inside the toilet. It's just like crazy. Now, here's the thing though, and I gotta ask y'all. So it has this function on it. It got the bidet shit on it, right? And it got like the shit. There's a bidet. Well, I don't know what they're called. There's something to wash like your asshole, and then something that washes like if you have a vagina, I guess. Now I got this toilet. Should I use it or is that gay? I'm using every other feature because the heated seats is fire. The heated seats is fire. I like it. But am I gay? If I'm a Jamaican. I know certain things you can't do. Chat. I've been debating it. I mean, I went through a lot of work to install this motherfucker. I had to bring the toilet up like 3 floors, my damn self. Let me see what y'all say. If it's gay, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing nothing gay. Never. Wait, I'm loading the chat. Ask Kevin Gates. It's sus? Yeah, so it shoots water like supposedly where your asshole is. And then, this shit is the remote's big like this. It has a dryer for your ass, which is pause. Like, so it wets your ass, pause, then it dries it. I don't know if you're still supposed to use toilet paper after that. But still, like, that's not gay? Yo, Victor, you Spanish, though. Y'all do all type of... I need like a Jamaican to tell me. I did buy it. That is a fact. Yeah, but like when you're in the shower and you're cleaning your ass, that's like different. Like squatting or sitting down and your ass getting clean is a little crazier. Oh, y'all got one? Well, listen, you're a female. You could use it. Somebody said, we Jamaican act, that's gay. Somebody said, act, it's not gay. It's the way you explain it that's gay. I get that. Somebody says, Flip says, act, why are you even saying you're going to use it anyway? I'm contemplating it. Somebody said, how is it gay to be clean? I think it's gay. No, I think the gay part is like shooting something in your ass. Pause. Somebody said, if the pressure is turned up, then it's gay. What do I mean? So chat, I bought only one of those, but I bought it for my master bedroom. Now I want to return my other toilets because I bought like 6 toilets. Don't ask me why I got 6 toilets. Because I'm switching out. I'm just bored. I'm switching everything out in my fucking house. Like vanity sinks, fucking toilets. I'm tiling. I'm doing all type of bullshit, bro. Like that's what I do in the daytime. And my greatest accomplishment was installing this toilet. And I'm telling you, it's so fire. The heated seats, I love it. So now the ones that I bought don't have that feature, and I want to get rid of them. I want that type of toilet now. But then yesterday I'm on the toilet, pause, TMI again, and I'm looking at the remote, and I'm you're a kid and you're playing with it, pause, extra pause. But I was like, I'm looking at the button that I could press the button, and I'm like, should I do it? And I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to open up this freaky ass nigga like Pandora box. I don't want to end up like Diddy, that the only way I could get off is watching another man fuck my girl or some shit. Like I really think that there's doors to freakiness that once you open up those doors, it's over for you. Like there had to be a point where Diddy was just like, all right, I think that's it. Regular pussy ain't for me no more. Like there had to be a point where he was like, yeah, just regular pussy is just not gonna cut it. And wherever that is, I want to not pass that threshold because I just can't imagine getting to a threshold where only if another man fucks your girl you get off, or there has to be another guy. I don't know. Somebody said, is it a square toilet? It's kind of square. Yeah, I think that toilet's a door. It's like a freaky ass nigga door. I don't want to go down that door. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking still, you know? I opened it with the heated seats. Bro, now heated seats is not no opening no freaky door. Hell nah. Heated seats is fine. Coco says, so are you afraid that your toilet would turn you out? Yeah. Yes. At least I'm honest. Yeah, I don't want shit. I don't want after I'm on the toilet, my toilet now got me making special requests to these chicks. You know what I mean? You know, there's this one entertainer. I think I've said this before. I won't dox them. But they've been with several women who I know, because I be knowing the hoes. And they all say the same thing about him. They're like, yo, shit. This is how one girl explained it. They say, yo, you know shit get real when homie pull out the strap on. And I'm like, what you mean he pull out the strap on? It's like, yeah, he pull out the strap on for you to use it on him. I'm like, what? Very popular person. I don't want to give no clues, but many women have told me that he likes things inserted into his anus. That supposedly he cussed out a girl, like, because she was like being timid, like, wait, you don't really want me to do this. She's like, bitch, do what the fuck I told you to do. Put it in my ass. And she did it. And I was like, the name just surprised me. I'm like, no way that's what he's into. And I think it started from the toilet. He probably got one of them toilets too. That's what that nigga, because at no point, that ain't no way you were born that freaky. So I think that started from the toilet. So I got a whole toilet conspiracy theory. And that's why somebody said, the fuck we talking about? Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm scared of my own toilet. Von Suave Music says, nah, Ak, you want to do that. Don't blame no fucking toilet. Stop it, nigga. Somebody says, it's Kendrick. No, it's not. Somebody said, gotta be Kevin Gates. I mean, he did start a fucking car battery with his bare hands. Someone said, bro, why you ain't hired someone to do the work? I ain't gonna lie, it feels way more fulfilling and satisfying than I did it myself. Oh, I was doing electrical shit too yesterday. I do electrical shit. I do plumbing, electrical shit. My tiling game ain't really fully there yet, but I'm getting better. And I ain't hang drywall yet. Don't ask me, bro. I got nothing to do. I need some friends or something, bro. So when I'm not streaming, I don't go to the club. I don't leave my house no more, really. It's just too dangerous outside. Not dangerous like that. It's just, bro, like sometimes I have one rule in life. Don't leave the house unless you want to take pictures. So when I don't want to take pictures, I just sit in my house. I'll order anything. Nigga, it could be a bottle of water. I don't leave the house. I just sit in the house. So nigga, you get bored. You can only play video games that much. Or if I'm going to hang with my family, you're only play video games that much. So nigga, last year I spent like, Amazon told me I spent $900,000 on Amazon. I order everything. So nigga, like I seen a saw today and I was like, that shit cuts, what it cuts? It cuts like asphalt. I'll never cut asphalt, nigga. But I was like, I want it. I think I ordered it. I'm bored. I'm sorry. I'm fucking bored. You know what I mean? I need to have kids. I ain't gonna, yeah, you know what? I might have some kids. That's what I need. I need to have some kids. I'm bored, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I am bored. No, it's like, bro, I don't like going to the club no more. I don't like really doing nothing that's really outside like that. And ever since when I bought this house, the whole goal was just build everything in the house. Like they're opening my pool this week. So fuck the beach, you know? What else? I got a stripper pole somewhere in there. So rather than go to the strip club, well, I started going back to the strip club again. But I used to just bring people to my house. Oh, that's another thing. Y'all got to see my Amazon cart. It's crazy. Nigga, I have a full-on, the only thing I'm missing is the big-ass sauna thingy. But like I have a whole massage room. Like I got the whole fucking I got that from AB's house when I went to AB's house. So I went to AB's house and the mid conversation the nigga says, "Oh, hold on, I'll be right back, Ak." I'm like, "Where you going?" He goes to get a whole full massage in some room. So anyway, I bought like this, like I got massage tables, I got fucking the little microwave for the towels, I got the heated rocks, I got the whole thing, I got the scent diffusers, I got, the heated oil thing. I don't know, I haven't even used it yet. They're still in the packages, but I don't know, I'm just buying everything, I don't know. That's why I see a movie like Spready Gibbs. It's like my hobby. It's like my, that's, it seems like mad old nigga-ish. Because every time I tell people, they're like, ew, you're rich. Like, well, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like moving around. Usually the amount of like, I definitely exercise. The amount of like movement I do during the day just doing that makes me feel like I'm a little bit in better shape. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said, "Act got a Diddy room." I was thinking that's what it might be perceived to be. But it's like a massage thing because I don't want to go to a spa either. Chat, I don't want to go nowhere outside the crib. Like, I like everything. So that's why I'm creating a theater room. I'll never go to another theater. What else I got? A massage room. Done with spas. Forever in life. What else? Yeah, I just try to build everything in my crib. Like, nigga, I got mad space. Nigga, I got like 7 rooms. Somebody said, look into the saltwater pool with the heater. I got that. I got that last summer before. Even though I still throw mad chlorine. Like, I'm mad ghetto, bro. I still throw mad chlorine in my pool. But they put on my pool is now a saltwater pool. Somebody says baby oil. You don't use baby oil. That's what Diddy's on some other shit. Diddy might be on some broke ghetto shit. Because even with massages or whatever, like, there's nothing. I've never seen a use for baby oil other than extra ashy legs. Baby oil ain't lube. Like, I don't know why you would have that much baby oil. That's why another reason I told you I feel like I'm in my unk era, because that's kind of like what I be doing all day. So in the mornings, like right now, like I'll get off stream before 9. I'm gonna go deal with my 4 dogs. It takes an hour to deal with my dogs, right? And nobody else could handle my dogs with me, so it takes an hour to deal with them. I get them all situated because they're gonna all start crying. Like I went to when I went to LA, animal control showed up to my crib. They were like, "Hey, Mr. Allen, we're outside your house." I said, "I'm not even at the house," but I'm looking at them through the camera. They're like, a delivery driver came to drop something off, and they heard the dogs just growling. Like, it's loud as shit. It's 4 of them. So when one starts, the other 3 just start. Like, I don't know if they're communicating. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. So animal control showed up, and I'm like, nigga, I'm not there. And my mom came over, and everything was fine, though. But, yeah. So it takes like an hour to deal with them in the morning. I'm going to have to deal with them. And after that, usually I start drinking. I ain't going to cap. Which I will today as well. Yo, I seen somebody that was like, yo, slow down the drinking act. Yo, I don't know why I got that drunk last night. Bruh, I feel like one of the bitches that went to Diddy's house. Nigga, I feel like I got, they must have put some roofies in this shit. But then, you know what I realized? I'm like, how much is this? This is 750 milliliters. I did drink the whole thing of this yesterday. But I didn't drink it all at once. And I usually sober up kind of quick, I think. Why are they saying this shit is gluten-free? Like, who gives a fuck? I don't mind some gluten in my alcohol. What the hell? Who gives a damn? But whoever this Tito nigga is, this nigga laced my drink yesterday, man. I was drunk out my mind. Nigga, I was on stream, and as I said, I know I'm drunk because I could feel myself sitting right next to me, and I'm looking at myself like, nigga, make some sense. Nigga, because I stream drunk all the time, but I know when I'm too drunk and I know I'm getting there. That shit hit me like, felt like Little Rod at a Diddy party, man. Shit was crazy. But the good thing about me, after 3 hours of sleep, I just need 3 hours, right? So I fell asleep. I woke up at 5. I'm back, right? I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, the way how I got drunk, I was like, I might have to go check my liver. Like, what the fuck? But I'm gonna just go with the story of, anytime somebody gets drunk too quick, they just claim they got drugged. I got drugged last night. Last night I got drugged. But I got drugged by the liquor store because I opened the bottle myself. Yo, Don Perriera. He said, I've been watching you since 14. I'm 27 now. Damn, we growing together, bro. You watching Dad Era act. Yo, you know what's going to be crazy? Like in a couple years when I have kids and y'all going to hear babies crying, babies and dogs. I'm not giving away my Rottweilers. I've heard a lot of women who claim that Rottweilers aren't safe to be around children. They're going to be safe to be around my children. I just bought a 2K PC just to stream. I'm nervous, but what's your advice? Just do it. Just do it. Oh yeah, RP. Like one thing, I don't throw up. And these days, like I've been drinking every day for like whatever. I don't throw up, and my body does have a good bounce back time, right? So I really don't have hangovers. Like right now, I feel like I still feel a little bit lit, but like I don't get hangovers. There's never like a hangover feeling. I think hangovers is like you have a headache maybe, or like your stomach. I don't get those things. No, not no more. Somebody say get a thought pregnant? Hell no. Dr. Jason, well, you just told me something I don't know if I should be proud of. He said, I started drinking because of you. Holy shit. Got me feeling like Future. I wonder what Future felt or thought when Juice WRLD said, nigga, I started taking them drugs because of you, nigga. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Don't do nothing I do. Use me as an example. Hey, let me tell you the bad side about alcohol. I think, first of all, my weight is coming down. Remember I told you I was 270. Now I'm like 225 or something. So my weight is coming down. I don't think I would have ever went past 220 if I didn't drink. Drinking is the thing that's made me gain a lot of weight. Drinking and lack of really just kind of sitting here and just being on stream or playing video games, pretty much. Not having like a active lifestyle. But yeah, don't drink for that reason alone. Drinking is going to make you gain weight. That's it. Damn, Sean James, talking about you want a bottle, nigga. It's early in the morning. It's 8:17. So if you wonder why I do drink in the morning, I use alcohol like coffee. Like, I've never done any other drug but alcohol. And did I ever tell you the story of how or why I started drinking? This is when I was going into daily drinking. Because, I'm in college. I'm a DJ. It's like really, like I would be partying. Then I got an early fucking Calc 3 class. And what ended up happening was that a lot of times I would go into class and I would just be like sleeping because like I would just sleep the whole class. And the whole thing was, I'm like, well, what the teacher is teaching us is in the book, but I'm taking these hard ass classes. Like, bro, I was like super smart. I went to elementary school in Jamaica. They rank you. So they tell you like you're the smartest or the dumbest. They tell you first to last. If there's 50 kids in a class, if you're first, you're the smartest. If you're 50th, you're the dumbest. I've always been number one. Always been first, right? When I came over here, did pretty good, took AP classes. Then I go to college, and it's the first time I ever failed something. I think I failed a class. Failed the fucking class, my nigga. But it was also conflicting with my lifestyle because I'm DJing. I ain't gonna lie. Like, once I start DJing this shit, now the thoughts are coming around. I'm gonna, like, me being honest, that's when I started getting bitches. Like, before, I got a bitch. But when I started DJing, that's when I started getting the hoes. I was like, I'm looking for the hoe. Yeah, facts. So I got a roster of bitches because they all love the DJ, right? Roster of bitches. I'm DJing all the time. And then I have these really hard fucking classes. I'm the only black dude up in these classes. And I would sleep in class a bunch, and I'm like, fuck. I ended up failing the class, and I'm like, how is this going to work? I'm trying to juggle too many things. You're trying to juggle getting girls because this is college. You're trying to juggle having a job because I also had a regular job. You worked at a computer lab. When you have to be saying like act types mad fast, I do. I type like 140 words per minute. And I know how to fix computers, and that's probably helped with. I built this studio and every other studio, including off the record studio I've ever worked in. Just kind of using my knowledge from DJing with sound and then whatever with computers. So I got a regular job. I'm DJing, right? So in college, I was making. I'm pretty honest with y'all. I was probably making about like $45,000 a year, which at that time, like, it's pretty good. You know, it's pretty good, right? I'm gonna tell you why it's pretty good. I was making about $20,000 a year, give or take, right, from DJing, and I was making about like $20,000 from my computer job. You put both incomes together, it's like $40,000. You get what I'm saying? But it's time consuming, right? But I would kind of like, I've always been the person where if I'm at my job, I'm still trying to work on my side hustle. You get what I'm saying? So I'm doing that. You got to go hang out with girls and do whatever. You got friends. And then these nighttime parties is conflicting with these really hard classes. Like these are the classes I took. Biomathematics, Rutgers. Like none of these fucking classes even sound fun, bro. By the way, I never used this degree a day in my life. So I took all these classes, right? So you take all the calcs, all of these, and then you get to the mid-level classes like data structures. I took that, cell biology. Oh, genetics was fun. I like genetics. I took that. But these are like really hard mathematical or scientific classes, and I was sleeping a lot in class. So this is, I know, I'm long-winded to tell a short story. That's when I started drinking. Only thing that would keep me up in class, I promise you, somebody should just said, I don't know why, like, because my classes were all Indian and white people. I don't know why I asked them, like, how do y'all stay up in class? They would probably be like, well, we don't party every day and we're not a DJ. You think you could be the cool guy. You see, when you go to college, you got to pick a hustle. You're either the cool guy or the nerd. You're never both. All right? I was trying to be both. I'm the nerd in class, but I'm also getting the bitches to twerk and wild out at parties. I'm trying to be both, right? You're one person. You can't be both. So anyway, I'm sleeping in class. Yo, I would literally go in. We'll have a clicker. The clicker is sometime within the first 5 minutes, or even if it's at the end of the class, people wake me up. But I go in just to do attendance, right? Because they would be like, oh, attendance is like 10% when they knew people would not come to class. So I would just go to class because I'm tired. Now, I don't know why them Asian motherfuckers, there was Asians in my class. So Asian, Indians, and white people. That's it. I don't know why I didn't ask them and they didn't tell me, like, nigga, just get some coffee. My stupid ass says I got to concoct a way to stay up in these classes because after I failed the class and I had to take it again, I'm like, I was getting older too. So now I'm realizing, wait, because my first year of college, I thought it was completely free. I'm like, this is great. I'm running around with a card. I get free food. I got money on the card. I'm thinking, I'm here for free. Every year made me realize I was accruing this wild debt that I would eventually have to pay back, right? And so I'm like, yo, I can't just be sleeping in class because, like, I'm probably going to keep failing these classes. Instead of using coffee, my stupid ass took 2 shots of Bacardi. I remember it to this day. Bacardi. I actually got Bacardi upstairs. And for the entire class, I was the most, like, engaged. Because you know what it was? It was my body feeling a little bit lit, but it was buzzed. It wasn't drunk. That's why, I don't really drink to get drunk unless I'm on stream. Like, I drink throughout the day, but I don't drink to get drunk. I drink to keep a light buzz. That's it. For whatever reason, that like anecdotal thing just told my brain was like, dog, this is how you stay up. Because my brain is trying to, like, level me out because I'm buzzed. But I'm also watching a teacher, and I'm watching a teacher now do math that I've never seen before. I'm like, oh, okay, this shit works. And low-key, I learned a lot, which I turned that from, okay, do that when you're about to go to class, take 2 shots, to, nigga, just do it all the time. That's kind of how I started drinking every day. I found out about Adderall the last year. Adderall is the truth. I took Adderall. My homie had a prescription. And I remember I was just like, yo, I started skipping a class because it was just an early class, but it was a mandatory class. And I was like, well, I could learn this by myself on my own. You couldn't because these things are hard. And I remember it's about to be final exam. I've been to class 3 times the entire semester. And I'm like, fuck. And the thing is, it's not one of them cool classes like where you got like a bad bitch in there that you could, but you know she know the shit. So you go study with her for the weekend and try to get knowledge from her. I have pure nerds in my class. Like these Asian kids, like they're not going to want to study with stupid old me because I didn't go to class, period. And I don't know. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to learn everything? Final exam is like in a week. My homeboy gives me, my homeboy who was in med school. He was in med school. He also missed certain classes. I'm like, how the fuck you missing class in med school? But then he would lock into his room and study, literally. Like we wouldn't see him. We all live in the same house. He would study for, bro, like 24 hours a day, every day, for like a whole week. And I was wondering, how the fuck do you stay focused and how do you do that? And he's like, yo, it's like I got Addies. Then, so me out of desperation, I think I'm about to fail this class. He gave me one, right? Now again, I don't take no pills. I don't like taking pills. I don't like whatever. I took an Adderall, but he had an actual prescription from a doctor. I wouldn't do anything else, but doctors prescribe Adderall. Nigga, I took that one Adderall pill, my nigga. Bruv, I was reading the math book like it was the Bible. I ain't gonna lie to you, nigga. I was doing shit I never did before. Nigga, like, I was figuring shit out, doing all type of shit. Bro, I was going crazy. And I think I got like a B in the class, or maybe it was a C+. I think it was a B. But I didn't go to class at all. And from that moment on, I said, you ever seen the movie Limitless? I was like, that's the closest drug to it. Now, I mean, I don't know if I could, if I could still get Adderall to help me focus, I would. But I would want it from a prescription. And I think if I get a prescription, I don't think you could have an Adderall prescription and have guns. And I would rather my guns. So no more Adderall. The only thing I could get is alcohol. So that's it. But yeah, I'm telling you, Adderall had me study for an entire, I didn't go to class and I learned a semester worth of information in a week by myself. And it's a 400 level math class. And I thought about that and I said, now it makes sense why all these white boys was always winning. They was off them Addies all 4 years. If I could go back, and I don't advise none of y'all to do drugs, I would have took Adderall from day one, my nigga. Day one. Day one in college, I'm taking Adderall, nigga. I would have got all A's. That's a fact. I would have took Addies from day one. Again, if y'all use them for other recreative purposes, I don't know how it could be used. Like, I only ever used it to do work. But I hear some people pop Addies as fun. I don't know how that's fun. But to each his own. That shit had me focused. In college, there's too much distractions. There's bad bitches everywhere. Like, they're having an event over there. So it's like study in my room by myself and be bored. Or go over there. They got all type of like events going on, or go meet people, or go meet this chick at the fucking dining hall and try to mack it to her. Yeah, there was just too much going on. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where Adderall probably would have helped. Now, again, the reason why that's the only time I really ever took it. With a purpose. Have I taken it afterwards? Yeah, I think I have. Like really sparingly. Haven't done it in years. But the reason why I wouldn't do it for recreation shit. If I gotta like write a paper, I'll take it. If I have to crank out, if I had to like say crank out maybe YouTube videos, like editing, because I used to edit everything myself. Yeah, I'd probably do that too. The reason I wouldn't do it recreation, and again, TMI. So remember that week I told you, this is finals, I'm like studying and shit like that. I ain't been to no class, so I'm learning the thing from the textbook by myself, but I took Addy, and now I feel like a Superman, bro. Like, I feel like I got superpower. I'm reading these things, and I'm making connections in my brain that would have taken me maybe like a couple hours, like that. Like, I would even read it, and my brain would already be like, well, if that's that, well, that must be next, and then it would be next. Like, it was like I was super engaged, but I was like super learning. Like I was learning at a pace that me, without being on that shit, I do not learn at that pace. By the way, this is not no drug infomercial. I don't want y'all to go do none of this. I'm just being honest about it. This was a downside. You want to hear the downside, chat? Cool. So I'm locked in. I'm studying for this test. There's a girl. I ain't gonna say her name. But this Egyptian chick I was cracking. She came over. She was like, "Oh, you want to chill? Like, I'm taking a study break because everybody's studying for finals." She's like, she's taking a study break. I'm like, I'm really locked in, but I'm like, I ain't trying to tell her no because I might not see her for a while after final exam because I don't know what was going on with me at that time. Actually, I do know. It's not me, it's her. She's Egyptian, so me and her used to, like, we weren't like together, but this is when I realized people have different like religions and shit like that. In the summer, she would tell me that her family would bring her back to Egypt and put her on arranged dates. And I was just like, what? So they ship her off to Egypt and put her on arranged dates because they do arranged marriage shit. And I remember like, how is this gonna work with us? Because then she told me, yeah, my family don't like black people. But I'm like, I'm cracking every night. And then I think I told you this part of the story. That shit kind of ended when one day I was dropping her home and she was like, yo, drop me off down the block. I'm like, I can't drop you off in front of your crib. And then she said, yo, if my father come out and ask you any question, just tell him you're the guy to help me with my computer. And I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, I ain't on some Shannon Sharpe shit. I'm going to go where I'm welcome. I'm not going where y'all looking at me as the help. I'm slanging cock. I'm not over here fixing computers. Fuck out of here. So anyway, and I think she got some she's in an arranged marriage right now. Congratulations for her ass. But yeah, anyway, so she came over that night. I don't know how this devolved into me telling stories. This is a hangover stream anyway. This ain't real topics. Oh, I'm gonna tell you the side effects. At least for me. I've heard that it's not side effects for other people. So Shorty comes over. I was really kind of locked into my work, but I'm like, you know, I ain't gonna see this girl for a while after the finals or final exam because she's probably gonna go do arranged dates in Egypt or whatever. So she comes over and she horny. And I'm like, all right, shit, let's get it going. Let me crack. Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe it's just me. My penis did not work. It did not, bro. That shit could not. Yo, I've never had my mans let me down. It would not. And that's when I realized, like, it just made sense. When you take an Adderall, it's sending all the blood to your fucking brain because you're doing brain shit. You want to think. It's not sending down there to your dick. My shit will not get hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie, nigga. Nigga, usually as soon as my shit feels saliva, it is harder than a rock of Gibraltar. Nigga, she was sucking on that gummy bear for like a minute. I'm like, God damn, I can't. I feel so bad, like, cause mentally I'm horny, but my shit not getting up. After that, I'm like, I don't know if it was a special type of Adderall, but I'm like, I'm good off of that, cause I like, know what I mean? Chat, and I was explaining it to her too. She understood though. I was like, yo, I took the Adderall I've been studying. I don't know. The only thing that was fucked up about it, like, I was horny, but I just didn't have any physical reaction to being horny. Like I couldn't get up. And after that, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna use this for finals week to make sure I get good grades. But I'm not taking Adderall no more because I'm sorry. Yeah. Every Adderall do that? Somebody say honey pack ain't exist back then, nigga. Bro, you should have seen. Yo, you know what's so funny? And this is TMI. Nigga, I think I almost burst a blood vessel, like trying to, you know when you're trying to, like, I'm trying to get myself there to even like get erect. It just couldn't happen. To the point that I was just like, let me just try to put the gummy bear joint in the TMI. Anyway, she chilled me for a little bit. I went back to studying and I got good grades. So, Belinda. So this is what I hear Adderall side effects is for women. It just, you guys can't get as wet as normal. So like whatever wetness level you usually get to, it's just not going to allow it to get there. It's just going to kind of cap out. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, try, bro, we're not passing along drug secrets. Get out of here. I'm not trying that shit. Again, I'm not in school anymore. If I was in school, I'd probably be indulgent, I think. But I'm not in school no more. Elementary differential equation. This is a 300 level class, man. I like probability, though. Chat. Oh, this is how much my life has been dependent on college. So my drinking problem starts from then. I've never had an Adderall problem. I just took Adderall for that week. But after my penis couldn't really work, I'm like, fuck out of here. I'm done with that. You know what I mean? What's the use of a drug if my dick can't get hard, right? Even though I see some of y'all like, no, you should take something else to counter it. No. Me, I'm scared of dying. So you won't catch me sniffing nothing. I don't even like taking pills because I don't want to be if I got to take this, I hear some people like, if you get drunk, snort some coke, then do this. And I'm like, man, that's how your body say. Like last night, my body was telling me, nigga, you're drunk. I'm going to make you go to sleep that you could be fine. This is what your body does. And I think your body's an amazing thing. God is a great person who has created these amazing structures called the human body. When you start to balance drugs, like, oh no, I took an upper, then a downer. Oh yeah, I took the Xanax, and then I took this. Too much of that starts fucking with the chemistry of your body. And I think at some point your body, like, that's when God says, you know what? Lights out. It's over. Okay? Like, yo, I gave you natural reactions to deal with one at a time. Now you mix in 5 at a time. All right, man. Just come on up here with me, okay? We'll have your judgment day. Okay, so I never really, and I've never taken a Xanax. I've never taken, what else? Percocets. I've never taken that. But I think doctors prescribe those, right? See, I'm pussy. So I would never take nothing. Like I told you about a story. I was doing this white chick. This chick went to Newark and came back with some shit. It was shaped like a dolphin. She was like, yeah, look at these pills. They're like, I guess it was Molly or something like that. Nigga, you think I would put something in my mouth, pause? No, Kanye. That a fucking nigga from Newark has in his pocket? Like, come on, bro. Like, you crazy, nigga? Like, I would never. You see me? That's another reason I'm too snobby to be a drug user. Like, if I think you dirty or if I think you just bummy, like I wouldn't eat from you. So why the fuck would I even consume drugs for you? If I gotta go to Newark, I'm good. Anyway, so this I was trying to tell you. What was it? Oh, gambling, right? Which y'all all know. Gambling, too much. Gambling started from my math classes. So my favorite math classes was probability. Right? So for example, like you could ask me, like I could figure out really quickly, like the probability of, I don't know, let's say the Powerball for these 3 numbers to hit in these sequences, like I'd be able to work out an equation and kind of do it, right? The probability of anything, like, especially if there's a set amount and you could kind of calculate. What that allowed was me thinking I'm smarter than the program. Meaning now I'm like, all right, well, if everything is like some probability, I started playing blackjack. So I still do. I start counting cards, right? I think I'm smarter than the average bear, which I still think I am. But, gambling, even if you're counting cards, they ain't really meant for you to win. Now I just get out of college. I have my big-ass 400 level probability. It's called theory of probability. I remember that class. They don't got it no more? There's a 400 level class. All right, any mathematics or statistic or computer science had the 400 levels. So I don't know why they don't let you click on it. But they say any. When I went, it was like, oh, that's whatever. Anyway. So I worked at Verizon. It's my only job I've had since college. And it was like a temp job. It's like fixed computers. Like eventually I knew I either had to go to med school, become a doctor, or I was probably going to work in a lab, because with a biomathematics degree, what you going to do? Do lab work? It's a really good degree. It's a math and science degree all in one. But what are you going to do with it? So in the meanwhile of trying to get a job that I could use my degree in, which also, by the way, because I didn't do an intern, or I forgot what it's called, like when you like spend like a semester in labs and do all this other stuff. I had the degree, but I didn't have any experience that would make me immediately hireable using biomathematics, right? So they started telling me I owe mad money from college because I graduated with $100,000 in debt. I just needed a job. And I was working at the college, but that was going to come to an end because I was no longer a student. So I get a job at Verizon, but it's the headquarters spot. So like I'm at that spot and I'm fixing computers for the internal like executive guys. And I was getting paid like $560 a week. They paid you a week because I was a temp. I wasn't a full-time worker. Well, I was full-time, but I wasn't a permanent worker. So I was at some point supposed to either get hired fully or just leave. I would drive from pretty much Central Jersey or North Jersey pretty much at that time down to Atlantic City, which is 2 hours. I would take out all $560 that I just earned for a week of work. And I was working there. Now to come to think of it, I was doing like, I spent an hour and a half in traffic. So I had to think about the time wasted. And that's why I hate, I know I'm a little scatterbrained. That's another reason why I hate regular jobs. Even now, I tell anyone, if I'm forced to leave the house, I don't drive anytime there's traffic. Traffic, it's like wasting and draining somebody's life. If you could work from home, please work from home. Traffic is like I used to add up the amount of time I spent in traffic, and I was like, yo, I spent 12 hours this week in fucking traffic. My life is just draining away. It's just draining away. And I remember that time I just felt I had no purpose because I was just like, I know God didn't put me here for me to spend 12 hours a week in traffic. This is horrible. But anyway, I don't need to tell you how long the job was, but pretty much I was like damn near a 9-10 hour thing a day. And I got paid $560 a week. I would go down to Atlantic City. And my ass was like, I was watching these movies too, where like niggas is counting cars and doing all that, even though, truth be told, it's a whole system that requires way more than one person. But I would go down there. I still know all the charts for blackjack. I know how to kind of count. Like I could have a conversation if blackjack was being dealt. I could count cards and still seem cool. I would practice by myself, learning how to, because when you go down, when you're in a casino, if they see you're just looking at the cards counting, like they're going to be like, yo, bro, cut it out. So I started learning how to be kind of cool, learn to drink, still count cards, this and third. And I went down there every weekend. And either I came up around 500 or 1,000 or I lost it all. And I did that consecutively until I moved in with my girlfriend, which she was just like, you about to drive to Atlantic City, my nigga? Or do you want to fuck? And I'm like, let's go to the room. Yeah. Which that saved me. But I used to go to Atlantic City every fucking week. And I would take my whole paycheck. Yo, there's no worse feeling driving back from the casino and your paycheck for the last week of work, you just lost. And I remember, it's always the same feeling, but it's the feeling of losing when you gamble. It's like, why did I come here? I could have saved myself a trip, saved myself the money, and yeah, gambling's horrible. I think gambling's worse than drinking. For me, gambling's much worse than drinking. So if I had to tell y'all things not to get into, stay away from gambling, stay away from drinking. I don't smoke, so I don't know. I would probably say smoking too, because everybody who smokes that I know, lazy as fuck. I've always thought that one of the reasons I got successful is because I just outworked everybody else. I would look what they're doing in their output, and I'm like, I'm going to do it 3 times more. And I wasn't like, alcohol doesn't make me lazy, but the people who I see smoke, they lazy as shit. Like, they are lazy. Somebody said weed in moderation. Yeah, this probably, you probably could do weed in moderation, right? Lady Shan says gambling is whack because you lose. Yeah. So anyway, so my love for gambling is because I have a math degree and I feel like I do math at a very high level and that my brain could work out these probabilities. And I got into poker like about a year ago. Adam kind of put me on. And that was Like I went quickly. Like when Adam was telling me, Adam was like, yeah, I only bet like, or like his wallet is like a couple of thousands of dollars. I'm like, nigga, I learned poker 2 days ago, and nigga, I went in with like 50,000. I'm like, but it's a gambling problem. So anyway, I say that to give Adam credit because he knows how to handle it in moderation. Like me, I'm not gonna handle it in moderation. Like I've always kind of been an addict, always. That's why I try to. For me, I have to control the things I get addicted to. If I smoked, I would probably be smoking so much. There's nothing I do kind of in moderation. I do it way too much. And I have addictive personality. So like I drink every day. When I do gamble, I'm gambling all the time, right? So then I got to find a way to stop. And then there's good things about it too. When I get addicted to like the pursuit of something, like for example, I got addicted to like even like just some of the things that revolved around building an audience. I think that's why I'm successful. So it's like, it's good and bad. Because I got addicted to making videos. I was making 7 videos a day. Just like cranking them out. To the point like that was the only fun I could have. Anyway. Drinking enlarges your liver? I think it does. I think it absolutely does. Okay. Somebody said abuse DoorDash. I'm gonna get back on my cooking wave, but right now, there's not enough time in the day. You know, I make great oxtails. I'm like a good chef. I make good. I make lasagna. Nah, I don't make no lasagna. Let me stop lying. I make Jamaican food. I'm lit with Jamaican food. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Chat. Go start y'all day. I'm going to go start mine. I can hear my dogs crying because they want to get out. And I'll be back on later at some time. This is not really day 2. But it's kind of day 2. All right. So we'll come back with the full stream later. But thank you guys for watching. Apologize and apologies for last night, but you know, live and you learn. Okay, please go check out the tickets to the upcoming show. I can't wait to see you guys, and until then.